Her kids are not like yours. Good morning, morning getters. Good morning. Good morning. What's good, everybody? It's early and I'm bright. I'm up bright and early on my bull. She is naive, okay? I'm up early with the with the BS. I took a little breaky break yesterday. I had a good day. I had some personal things to take care of. I went out yesterday evening. I'm still a little tired. It was a little. The weather is changing. It's changing quick, fast, and in a hurry, just like that. Um, so I went out for a bit last night, and somebody called me old, and you know what? I am old, cause it was like 8, 9, and I was getting sleepy. I was ready to get indoors. So yeah, I was outside last night. I was outside on the pop out. You was playing games. So I was outside last night. It felt cool to be outside, but yeah, I had to get my butt back inside. And I went to bed pretty early. Not too early. I think I went to bed about like 10ish. I was so sleepy. But I've been up since like 2 or 3, going through my engagements and stuff like that. I I actually wasn't really planning to do a live at this time. Like I don't know how many lives I'm gonna do moving forward. I'll gauge, and that's kind of what I wanted to do this morning, see how many people are up on Saturdays. Like, I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna start doing more uploads or if I'm gonna go live. Or let me know in the chat. Like, I see you guys coming on in. I'm letting everybody come in, by the way. I see you guys, but I want to let a few of you come in so I can welcome you all instead of just continuing to stop and break. So I see you guys in the chat. But let me know in the chat as well. Like, do you guys prefer your lives in the evening, in the morning, or do you care what time? If you're on, you'll watch. If not, um, or whatever. And also, like I have been mentioning to you all, my email is in the profile, in my profile. So please, please, please give me your feedback. And let me know what type of topics you want to talk about, and what type of topics interest you. Um, we could talk about it all over here. I don't mind. Um, so yeah, as I was minding my own business, I wasn't in nobody's business this morning, but um, a Peach McIntyre video or two came across my desk, and I noticed that she coming for us again. She like, oh, my kids are not typical black kids. Oh, really, Peach? Oh, really? She just won't learn her lesson for nothing in the world, right? So we're going to talk about it today. But before we get into that, let me give my little fair use is disclaimer. I don't even know if this works, but I see everybody else do it, and I'm a copycat. I'm a copycat, so I'm doing it too. So let's get into the copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit education or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So basically, we're just gonna listen in and watch a couple of these videos, okay? And we're gonna comment on them for scholarship and what did they say? Criticism, commenting, blah blah blah. Okay, I got 29 of you in here and only 7 likes. Y'all don't got love for Death Row? Well, let it be known then. Let it be known. Y'all don't like MMG? Let it be known then. Let it be known. What's good, Janet? How are you doing this Saturday, Good morning, Reba. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Janet, for just dropping by. Good morning, Tasha. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning, Karen. Hey, Reba, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, she's over there on TikTok. She's just going to take this feeding empty little tummies debacle. She's going to milk it for all it's worth. I don't blame her because her views were like, her views were looking like mine over here. But I have less than 4K followers. She got like almost a million. And her views were like abysmal. And now I see I've been checking her out. I've been looking over there on her Facebook and on her TikTok because she was she was begging and pleading for those TikTok followers, right? By the way, it looks like her TikTok is going to stick this time. It looks like she's keeping it. So far, so good. Fingers crossed, Peach. Fingers crossed. Um, so it looks like she's going to keep her TikTok this time. She's had it, what, almost a week now? A good 4 or 5 days? It took her about 2 or 3 to get to 10K. The first day, she got like 20K like within hours. But yeah, she the engine, little engine that could, she gonna keep going. And so yeah, she's almost there, back to where she wants to be. But I see that her TikTok followers have went up to 20K now. I think like overnight she went from 10K to 20K with this whole feeding empty little tummy stuff. Peach, when she sees that she can get the drama going, the rage baiting going, when she sees that she can milk something, or she'll take it to the, and that's what the game is. A lot of you guys say, oh, why are you talking about Peach? Or why are you talking about that? That's what the game is. It's all entertainment. It's all a game for her. Um, I do believe that is upset about it, but we're going to get into why this is all just BS on her behalf, too. There's a lot, okay? There's a lot to get into this morning. So I hope you guys are ready. I know you guys are probably like me. I'm in bed, headscarf on. I've been snacking on frozen grapes and a few chicken wings. Totally, totally off my diet. But it's Saturday and I'm chilling. Um, and I'm talking to you guys this morning. So lock in with your girl. Um, if you haven't already subscribed, do that as well. We stepped it all the way up in September. I got some good news coming for you guys. And we're going to keep on keeping on all through the rest of this year. I got a lot of great content coming for you guys. Money saving tips, money making tips, things like that. Like I said, this is entertainment. This is fun, but we're going to lock in and we're really going to turn it up for 2026. At least I plan to. I'm so proud of myself. Let me give myself a hand clap because I set goals for myself and I've been crushing them, one by one, bit by bit. And we're going to do this together. So if you have goals for yourself, if you want to lose weight, I'm on a weight loss journey. If you're trying to save money, I'm always trying to save money. If you're trying to make money, I'm always making money. We're going to do that over here. We're going to have fun and talk about the entertaining topics and laugh and giggle and key. But we're also going to get our business taken care of over here. That's what we're going to do over here. Thank you, Cancer66. Thank you for joining. How are you doing today? Guys, please hit the like button. Let's get the likes to match up with the C's, okay? Because I see you in here. But back to Miss Mcintyre. So, guys, we've seen her struggling all semester from the beginning of the school year, right? We've seen her trying to make a good go of getting those children back and forth to school on time. That was her goal, right? We've seen her struggling with trying to get those kids on track as far as their grade level, their reading level. And let's just stop right there for a minute. And I'm going to give you a little backstory as far as I'm concerned. I told you guys, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and this is not bragging. This is just what it was. I was always the top of my class, always had to be bumped up a couple of grades for reading and math and things like that. And I ended up getting skipped because I was always ahead of the class. But I'm a smart girl, I'm very intelligent. Please believe me. But when I moved to the city that I live now, that was at the time, it's not that way anymore. But at the time it was predominantly white. These kids was reading like at a college level. These kids were doing math at college level. It was totally different than what I had been exposed to in the hood, okay? And so while I was easily top of my class in the hood without even sweating, when I moved to the predominantly white, where people had more money and things like that, I had to learn what studying meant. Actually had to study for tests, and I couldn't really keep up at first because I didn't know the things that they were learning. Like I said, they were learning at the college level. Here I was still in primary school. And I'm just telling you, that's what it is. When there is more money in the community, that means there's more money for taxes, and those kids get exposed to more. They learn at a different rate, and then than kids who live in poorer communities. That's something that needs to change, but we can't change that unless we vote, at the local levels, unless we step it up and pour into our children and pour into the schools and make sure that our kids can compete at the same levels as everybody else. And that's what Peach is facing. Her kids she comes from poverty, an impoverished background. She has said she grew up on Section 8. She has said that she has raised her children in the projects, that she raised her children on food stamps and WIC and things like that. And she's also said because of her gambling habit that she wasn't really paying attention to their education as she should have been. She has already stated that out of her own mouth, these are Peach's words, not mine. She's already stated that her kids are behind because of her and Wood gambling and not really making sure they got to school on time. It was like really not an issue to her, right? So now that her kids are in school with these doctors and lawyers' kids, right? If you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, then education is of utmost importance to you. Um, if you're an educated person, I'm college educated, so because I'm college educated, then it is more likely that my children will be college educated as well. That's just the predictors, right? It's not always true, but that's just what it is. Just like if your parents didn't go to college, it's less likely that you will. It's not that you won't, but it's just less likely, right? So with Peach and Wood not being college educated, they don't come from that background. Wood comes from the 600 hallway. According to Peach, she has let us know this, right? This is not me making it up. This is not an opinion. This is what Peach has said. With Peach's children running the gamut of being on the autism spectrum. One of her children was born with a missing part of his brain, or something like that. She has twins and a child who were born. One of her children were born, and they had to bring him back to life. So they have all of these cognitive delays and things like that, and speech impediments, all things that and Peach had taken them to like the regional center in her area. You get what I'm saying, Ladybug, Lady T Bug? Thanks for joining the live. Um, if she had uh, started getting them early intervention, because just because a kid is on the spectrum, and I've said this before, if your kid is on the spectrum, or if you notice differences in your child, even, I don't care if they don't show any sign, if 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 they're not on the spectrum, there are certain milestones that your child should hit by a certain age, and taking them to their pediatrician regularly, taking them to the doctor regularly will also, and letting your doctor know, because your doctor Your kid's pediatrician will start asking you at certain milestones. My children all have the same doctor. My daughter, my oldest teen is 18. So they've been going to the same pediatrician for 18 years. This doctor knows them by name and face. She knows them well. And she watched their development without even telling me she was doing so when they were little. So because I stayed with the same doctor, and the reason why I did was because when she knew my children by name, I said, okay, this is their doctor. When she started looking at different things that were going on with my children and intervening and things like that, my children were able to thrive. So, when I talk about Peach, I like to also give you guys information and things like that, because I'm not just here to talk about her and put her down. Of course, it's funny. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna key, haha. We're also gonna get that information in there. If your kid is behind or delayed, don't think of your child as dumb, retarded. Because I know sometimes um, we'll be like, "Oh, they're slow," or they just acting like they don't know. They don't know. Sometimes a kid is very smart, but uh, they function differently cognitively. Um, and they can be, sometimes you think that an autistic kid doesn't know what's going on. Whole time they're the smartest kid in your house. So, and I feel like Peach, if she had taken the opportunities that were before her to do whatever with Choice, he probably would be a different child. And I feel like she misses the opportunities because she always makes that excuse. I'm an autism spectrum mom. I'm an autism mom. She like uses that label, I feel like, to hold her son back. And she allows him to do stuff that I wouldn't allow my child to do. Like you're keeping him functioning at 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like I know autistic kids. I know I've worked with autistic kids. I started off my career working with disabled adults and disabled children before I went on to do other things. And they can thrive just as well as a so called normal, quote unquote, child. And that's only if you get them the intervention, and that's only if you put them in preschool early. And that's only if you do things to, and like, Peach has 9 kids. Peach doesn't have time to be catering to one child, taking one child to CVS on a scavenger hunt for pull ups. Choice wants those pull ups. By now, his Teddy, for the last 3 or 4 years, he's been doing this crap with Mr. Teddy that I know of. Teddy should be potty trained by now. And if she was doing what she needs to do as a mother, then she would be helping her son to develop beyond that type of stuff. He's going to be 14 in January. He should not still be running around with a teddy bear, putting diapers on it and wanting to dress him like the other kids. She lets him go in the closet and go get his little brother's clothes and put them on, and they're too tight. She just does things that don't make a lot of sense, and that's why her kids are behind. She thinks now that she has money, she could buy them, buy them those advantages, but those are things that you cannot buy. Those are things that take time and nourishment. You actually have to put the time in. And once they are behind, they're going to be behind for a while. Because I feel like her kids are not just behind. I feel like they're not even where the kids would be if they were just in a regular school, in a so-called regular environment, right? But she says her kids are not typical. They're not. She said this morning her kids are not typical black kids, and we're going to get into that. Right, Lady T Bug. She's too big. I think that she's so focused on the money and definitely making money off of her so-called trauma, and she's delaying herself and she's delaying her children as well. Right, Lady T Bug. She spent all that time taking her kids to Disneyland. All that time during the summer, she hasn't been gambling. She says the last time she gambled is on her birthday. We don't know if that's true or not. We can only go by what she shows us and what she tells us. But she says she hasn't gambled since April. And if you gambled last in April, then that means before school started, you had a good 4 or 5 months to have your kids tutored all summer. And they were mostly home. You could have had them tutoring all summer. But in my opinion, she was spending so much. She said she was even on break. Remember when she first moved in, she didn't really post for a month or two. So she had the time. And according to her, she had the money. I feel even if her and Wood didn't gamble, her kids would still deal with issues. She lacks when it comes to parenting, in my opinion. Absolute answer 66. She said that she wants help. But when people try to give her help, when I do lives like this and give her pointers, then she cusses us out. She doesn't want to accept the help when people try to help her. Absolutely, Deborah Miles. Consistency and it does matter for children. Having the same pediatrician, especially if you have a good pediatrician. Um, my kids teach a pediatrician is head of the autism team, so she is her part of her specialty to recognize if kids have delays or if they need. One time, my daughter was like 3 years old, and my daughter had this weird looking rash, like it was just like lines all over her back, and I'm like, what in the heck? I took her to the doctor. That doctor knew immediately what it was, and it wasn't a. It was just like something that was related to my child's immune system. It was the way her immune system responded. It was like a rash that was kind of like dotted on her back like a Christmas tree. Whatever she responded to, whatever, it didn't affect the rest of the household like that, but it only affected her. And her doctor, like, always knew, always knew. Another time, my daughter had some kind of, she got a fever real bad. Another daughter, she had a fever real bad, and her mouth was full of sores, and she told me what to do. Put milk of magnesia on her mouth, and it was gone within days. And that's just some of the things that she was able to recognize. So I didn't even like Kaiser for myself, but when it came to my children, Kaiser was excellent, and their doctor just, her bedside manner and the time she takes with them and explaining things, it just was bar none, right? So when we find things like that as parents, we got to latch on to it. And like I said, we're commenting, and we're also doing this for scholarship and education. Peach is a dynamic individual, very charismatic, very entertaining. Like, for her to be able to take this and turn it, like, nobody believed, like, a lot of people thought that she was just joking when she said empty little tummies. My kids don't have empty little tummies. She was mad as Hades, and it was funny as F, because I'm like, every time I think of it, empty little tummies, I just, let me go to Peach. Let me get to Peach. Let me get to Peach. Let me take y'all to her video this morning. It's too hilarious. OMG. Let me see if I can find the video. Oh. You think it's social media serenity? I think she definitely gets attention that she's never gotten growing up. I gotta say that for real. I think that Peach definitely gets something out of social media other than money, because she comes here and tells self-deprecating information that I would not tell the world. Like, a lot of the stuff that she tells us, we probably wouldn't know it if she didn't tell us, first of all. And she says, I don't wear shame. No, she uses social media as her diary. And TikTok was more than just money for her. She missed that. She missed being on TikTok. She couldn't. I agree with you, Serenity. She said the kids were to keep the bag of food. Well, let's get into this right here because some people are calling foul on Peach because Peach Peach, you are a mess, girl. Let's go to this video this morning. Let me see. Let me see.
Facts Friday. Hi, Jessica. I'm Peaches McIntyre, but on the internet, they call me Peach. We have now been serving this school year for 7 weeks in a row. We're really excited about that. Congratulations. I'm sure parents who need your services are excited too. Our goal and main mission is to get food in the hands of kiddos that might need it. Jessica, that's not what your mission statement on your website, where you ask for donations, states. It actually reads, our mission to pack and deliver meals to food deprived children in our community. That's what it reads on your website. And so we jumped in this year. I think that this is the third or fourth year in a row. I apologize for not knowing that exactly, but I think this is the third or fourth year that we have been able to start serving the children immediately. Me personally, I'm so happy to hear that you guys have been able to jump in immediately and start serving children who are food deprived. Our numbers grow throughout the year, and we started with just a few hundred kids in a few schools the first week of school. We are now in 46 schools, and this week we served 1,352 children. Jessica, that's awesome. However, I'm the mother of gorgeous Underwood and amazing Underwood, and they both attend Lakewood Ranch Preparatory Academy. Had your company, your organization.
Peach was so proud that her kids were going to that school too. That's what makes the game so cold. That's what really makes the game so cold. Remember how she spent all that time carefully and cautiously going to get their names monogrammed onto their backpacks and lunch bags and onto their little sweaters. She was so proud of that.
Followed normal protocol, you could have saved money and only served 1,350 students, because my two students, they aren't food deprived. So I've been getting asked a lot of questions. We have a lot of new volunteers as well. And so we figured it's time for a Fun Facts Friday. Ooh, Jessica, I love facts. Can't wait to hear. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, Peach says her children aren't food deprived, but we have seen Peach allow her children to gorge on food, to stand up while eating. We've seen Peach allow her infant son to put pudding all over his face when they go places. I mean, they act like it's their first meal in a while because that's the way she allows her children to behave. And if she's allowing them to stand up and eat at home and overeat at home, when they get to school and they exhibit that same behavior, who knows what they're doing. I remember I had a friend and I told her how my mom didn't allow us to say I'm hungry in public, right? Like I'm hungry. I'm hungry. My mom didn't go for that stuff. You get to acting like she didn't feed you, you might get backhanded or something playing with that woman. And so she said, but what if the kids are hungry? If they hungry, then they might want something to eat. Well, honey, her child went to the daycare and she was all on the floor eating food that fell on the floor. And I know this friend fed her child, but her child was acting like she had never ate before. And I've seen kids do that. They'll be at a birthday party or something. I want more. Jumping all up on your counters. Before they have even finished their plate, coming back for seconds before other kids have eaten. To me, that's what my grandmother calls ill mannered. That's acting like you don't have manners. And my mother, that type of thing, And my mother has children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren. And my mom wished any one of hers would go somewhere and behave like that. We buy too much food. And we are a family of eaters. We don't look like we're missing a meal. So for anybody, any one of ours to act like that, my whole point is, who knows how her children behave at school? What you allow at home, your kids will do outside of the home. So that's why you have to teach your kids manners so that they don't go out embarrassing you. You don't know if your kids are at that school saying that they're hungry or what. You don't know what your kids are saying. Somebody mentioned how you take your kids to go get those free bananas and free apples and whatnot before they go to school. Who knows what your kids said when they got to school? Oh, we got free food from Publix. You don't know what your kids are doing at school because you don't take the time to, you allow them to be themselves. You want to be one of those new age parents, one of those gentle parents. But there's a lot more to parenting than just giving your kids things. If you love your children, you train them up in the way that they should go. You give them manners. You teach them how to be good citizens of the world, how to act when they are not around you. You teach your kids. You don't allow that, in my opinion. But let's go to this other video because this is where she lets you guys know. Because I know she ain't talking to me. She can't be talking to me because her kids ain't never better than mine. But I'm going to let you guys hear the video.
Wanted to share a little bit about who we are, what we do, and the reason why we do what we do.
Jessica, so far you haven't introduced the name of your actual organization, so I'll tell everyone. The name of the organization is Feeding Empty Little Tummies.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and agree with her on that. Feeding empty little tummies. It's funny every time I say it. Feeding empty little tummies. Oh, it never stops being funny. Why in the hell did they name that organization Feeding Empty Little Tummies? Who would name who would name their organization Feeding Empty Little Tummies? As a parent, I would feel instantly, instantly offended. Even if my kids were hungry, I wouldn't want you. Don't bring my kids no damn bag, no trash bag full. Don't bring that crap to my kids. If you want to feed them, give them a gift card so I could take them to Walmart this weekend and put some groceries in my house. Don't come giving my kids no oodles and noodles. I would have been offended. I would, especially if my kids. Let me go back to the video. Let me go back to the video. Oh.
The acronym is FELT, Feeding F, Empty E, Little L, Tummies T. Feeding Empty Little Tummies.
So our nonprofit was started 15 years ago by Miss Jane Evers. She heard that there were kids in our community that were going hungry, and she wasn't going to stand for that.
Can't help but wonder how Miss Jane.
So basically, it's like feed the children. It's a bunch of do-gooders. You know what type of do-gooders I am. Going around feeding little hungry, food-deprived children. So basically, what they're saying is, Peach don't feed her kids.
Evers would feel to know that instead of you guys focusing on feeding empty little tummies, you're feeding children who are privileged based on How did you put it in the video? Hold on.
So what started on a kitchen table with just a few schools and 100 or 200 kids has now turned into this big old warehouse where we're able to bring in a lot of food to be able to put it back into our community.
That's awesome. And I just want to make sure I understand correctly. Our community is only Manatee County. You only service children who are food deprived in Manatee County. Our community is Manatee County, correct?
So our kiddos, we want them to return to school on Monday ready to learn, thrive, and ready to succeed and not have to worry about where their next meal might come from.
Where their next meal might come from. I'm so outraged that feeding empty little tummies gave my two black privileged children free food when you could have really gave it to someone else who didn't know where their next meal would come from.
Our kids typically receive free breakfast. Well, all kids in Manatee County receive free breakfast.
Meanwhile, I have been paying for breakfast for my children in Manatee County. So now I'm looking on the internet and I'm trying to understand, and I'm going to ask the school, why have I been paying for breakfast for 4 of my children this school year to have breakfast at a Manatee County free public charter school? See, this is my children's My School Bucks account, and I've been paying for breakfast and for lunch. Last year I was told it wasn't free, regardless, because it's a charter school. This year, according to what you say, all students get free breakfast. And then I just looked online, and I see that information to state the same. Lakewood Ranch Preparatory Academy, I have questions. Let me send an email.
Wanted to share a little bit about who we are.
So as you can hear, her kids are privileged kids. Okay. Let's go to the next video. But before I do that, guys, we are at 38 likes. We should be at least 50%. We're almost at 100 people in the chat. Thank you guys for that. You guys are so dope. You are the best. But I don't know what the problem is. What's the problem? We need to get these lights up. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, number 39. Let me see who's all in here with me, because a lot of you have came in and I have not said hello. What a bad host I am. Let me see. Okay. Right, Serenity, a failing mother who doesn't want to take accountability. Absolutely. She seems like she is trying, though, to, correct her wrongs. She's putting her kids in different programs, but I don't even think she needs to do that. I think those kids are not on the same, I don't think they're at the same educational level as the kids at the school where they were at. I believe those kids are probably, because if you go back and look at her shorts, the former head of the school, because she said they got rid of him, he was saying that they had a lot of advanced placement classes. So I think those kids are even like in honors classes. They're ahead of her kids. They're ahead of the kids in regular school. So I think she's trying to get her kids to catch up to them, and that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. And not in one school year. Right, Serenity. She needs to ask herself, why? That's what she should have asked. How come, or not, why did you give it to my only black kids? She should have asked, well, what did my kids come to school? Are they acting like they're hungry or something? You should have asked that. You should have asked your kids before you called that school. Are you guys up there acting like I don't feed you? Because I'm up if you did. Your pediatrician used a holistic approach, Deborah. That's excellent. It's excellent whenever you can find a good doctor for your kids. Good morning, Dimples. How are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Richie, what's good? Thanks for tuning in. Richie, I saw that you responded to my email. I've been busy, but I'm gonna get back with you. I'm gonna check that sometime today and get back with you. Let me see. Those no, they don't. I don't think they want her in that community either. They probably said so. They said, "Damn, I thought we got rid of her," but nope, she's back, just like the relentless roach that she is. You don't why I don't know why people listen to her. I don't. You think she's boring? They mad DIY. You think she's boring? Uh, Deborah Mal says she was genuinely hurt. You could tell that she wanted to cry. I think she wasn't hurt, Deborah Miles. I think that her ego was bruised. Her ego was hurt. You hear her saying her kids are privileged. And I'm gonna go to the next video when she says they not like us. Okay? Her kids is not like our kids, okay? Right, Reba, the way that the way those kids act when they eat, absolutely. Dimples, that school resource officer was ready at the door. She went up there carrying on and cursing and throwing that food. She took that food and shoved it down. Honey, them people was like, I know that somebody done told her wrong when she got to that school thinking she was gonna record and carry on. Oh, honey, they let her know. Miss McIntyre, you will not be doing that here. You will not be carrying on here. And there's the thing, people don't realize you are not allowed to go to a school and do that. I don't know the rules and I don't know the laws for Florida. If you are from Florida, let me know. Please let me know. But with all these school incidents, with these kids being terrorized at the schools and different things happening, you can't just go into a school and curse out the teachers and things like that. There are laws against that. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care what happened. I do agree with Peach that that was offensive to give her kids those meals in the way that they did in those little black bags like that, and to single them out if what she is saying is correct and true. I do agree. I would have been offended, and I probably would have wrote an email. I wouldn't even start it at the school, but this is a charter school, right? So you don't have the same remedies that you would have if your child was in a regular public school. But I don't mind getting the principal told. I do it all the time. And then after I start there, okay, and get names and get numbers, extensions and whatnot, I go to the district. Usually you get better results when you go to that school district than you do at the school level, honey. I go to the top. And if I need to go to the senator, if I need to go to the governor, if I need to call President Trump when it comes to mine, let's get it started. But hey, it's a way that you do things. And she said her elevator, she's always saying, my elevator goes to the top. Honey, let me tell you something. And she says that I can act like Ashley. Peach, baby, you in another part of Florida. You're in another part of Florida. And if you can't walk the walk and talk the talk, if you and your children cannot keep up, and when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. You don't have to act like anybody. You don't have to change who you are for anybody. But if that's what you aspire to do, like Peach does, then you should be able to fit in. And you and your children do not fit in. Everybody sees it. That's my opinion. And I'm not saying that you're not good enough, that you're not as good as them. I'm just saying you're not the same and you stick out like a sore thumb. That's what I am saying. And what makes it even more relevant is that you are putting down other people thinking that you belong somewhere you don't. You felt like I have finally arrived. I'm making all this money as a content creator. Me and my children live better than we have ever lived before. I'm able to buy things and take them places and do things that people where I come from have not been able to do. I didn't grow up with these privileges. I wasn't afforded this, and the people that I left behind in Tampa, They still don't have it like this. I have arrived. And then you wanted to put down poor people, single black mothers, black women. That's you belong where you came from. That's where you need to go back to. Go back to where you came from. That's what they go tell you. That's what they'll tell you, Peach. Go back to where you belong. I gotta stop. I gotta stop for real, for real. Right, Dimples? Wood is overwhelmed. Right, Nisha? That's the same stuff. Like, come on, like that was $1 worth of food. I know they had to be kidding. I know they have got to be kidding, Nisha. Right, they eat the same 2 or 3 meals at home every day. You barely see any fresh fruit or fresh vegetables at home. Um, you know what? One thing, Cece, one thing I have seen her do all the time is go buy them. Well, we haven't seen her do it lately. I don't know if she has been doing it, but I remember she used to go take all those kids. She'll go to 4 and 5 different restaurants and go get all those kids food. I mean, they'd have Sundays, they'd have all kinds of crap, and I'm like, why is she loading those little kids up on food like that? You know, that was crazy to me. Yes, it is sad as hell, Rich. No, Cece, she don't know how the kids behave at the school. I believe you because what she showed us from her inner pantry dimples, it was a lot of packaged foods, and I don't know if you guys have been following along with my weight loss journey. My kids are over here feeling like they're like like they have empty little tummies because I'm not buying them the junk food like I used to buy it. I do buy them some, but not like I used to. I eat clean, so I don't eat a lot of stuff in a package. And the reason why I don't is because it's horrible for you. That shit had my blood pressure sky high. It had my blood sugar levels out of control. It had me swelling up like Mr. Clump. I had to get rid of it. I had to get rid of it quick. And I had to get rid of it for my kids. I couldn't have them eating like that. So now we probably buy like 15 cases of water. And my older kids come over like, you don't have any snacks. You don't have. I do. I buy lots of fruit, lots of vegetables. We buy a lot of different stuff like that now. Thanks, Vakita's Room, for stopping by. I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm doing good. I hope you are too. Hey, Karen Scott. Thanks for tuning in. Right. I haven't seen her pantry lately, but we know before it had a bunch of, what did she have in there? She had like 10 different rices, cans of pork and beans, gobs and gobs of that Kraft Mac. Who in the hell will feed their children Kraft macaroni cheese in a box? And if you do Velveeta shells and cheese, stop that. Stop it. Stop giving them Velveeta shells and cheese. What is that? What is that? Come on now. Get you some of them Albert's elbow macaroni and make them some fresh macaroni and cheese. I haven't been eating macaroni and cheese either. That's the one thing I haven't been eating. I eat almost the same except cleaner, but I have not been eating any pasta. I feel so deprived. I feel so deprived, but I feel so great at the same time. But my mama used to feed us that Kraft macaroni and cheese when we was little, when she didn't know any better, and then she finally learned how to make homemade macaroni and cheese. And listen, I've been too bougie for Kraft and Velveeta since I was about 10 years old. That's a lot of junk in that stuff. But she had like, kids, they like that stuff sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Some kids like that Kraft stuff. But she had a whole pantry full of it. A whole pantry full of rice. A whole pantry full of just crapola. Okay. A bunch of BS is what she had. Like gobs and gobs of pasta sauce. Girl, if you don't make you some fresh pasta sauce, like in cans and cans of bottles and bottles of Alfredo sauce. Who in the hell buys ragu Alfredo? Alfredo is the easiest thing you can make, and it's so quick to make. Like, why would you buy that? Why would you buy that? Anyway, you know. And when she used to do that pantry, remember that time she had Wood go get all those juices? He had a truck bed full of nothing but Capri Suns, Yahoos, Arizonas, and a bunch of junk. That your kids can't get smart off of that, Peach. I know you want smart kids, but they can't get smart eating all that junk food. Nisha, you know doggone well Wood got to keep his lips zipped. That's why he mumble like that. He's scared he gonna get popped. Wood is not allowed to talk on camera. Peach be like, what did the kids say, Wood? Do what my kids told you to do. Clean up the room, Wood. Clean up. You don't do nothing around here. All you do is sleep and make babies. Clean up this house. All I know is when I get back with my children, this house better be clean and food better be on the stove. That name is out of control, Cece. That name is diabolical. Good morning, Smooth. How are you doing today? Hey, M3. M3, you know what? M3, you stole my idea with the trivia game. I saw that you guys were having fun at the PJ party, and that's something I was going to start doing. But you didn't know I was going to do it. You didn't steal it from me. But I'm sad I missed your game night. I hope you have it again soon. I think that's a fun idea. And people like participating in things like that. I think that's a good addition to your channel. Guys, M3, Mama 3 was doing trivia on her channel last night. If you guys aren't following her, please go support her channel. She's one of my biggest supporters, and I appreciate her so much. Dimple, she goes back and forth from saying, I love being a mom too. I'm tired. I need a break. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to tell you, I never had a break. Work and a grocery store was my breaks. But I was that kind of mom where I didn't want no one else watching my kids. I mean, I would let my mother have them, and while I was at work, and I didn't like that. I did not like leaving my kids even with my mother. I liked, like it is now, I like being able to have my thumb on my children. I know where they're at. I like taking them wherever they need to go and being able to pick them up. I don't like people with their hands on my kids. I don't play that. I don't like my kids having anyone else's mindset or getting information from other people. I know I'm putting good things into my children, or I'm trying to. Listen, I'm out of control, but my kids be over here trying to parent me because they know better. I just don't allow my kids to just do and see and be whatever. I put good things into them. You know what I'm saying? So, and I try to be a good example to them as well. But yes, shoot, um, Peach needs to let Wood speak up, and also she is a mother of 9. You can't just pay everybody to do things for your kids. You could you need to sit down and mother them. Like if you have those little twins, you're missing every milestone because you're gone in the morning and you're returning home at night. Wood needs your help. He needs her help. 20-cent noodles. I was surprised by her pantry comment when she always rushing in the morning so that they can eat at school. She gets them up so early in the morning. There's no excuse. Right. I think Deborah, I think she gets up that early. I believe because they don't live in Lakewood Ranch anymore. If they do, I would be shocked. But I believe that she gets up early at 6 a.m. and leaves so that she can commute to Lakewood Ranch. And then I believe they go to tutoring afterwards. I believe those kids are gone from the house. I believe she and the kids get up early in the morning, like 6, and I believe they probably leave by 7, and they don't return to the home till about 7 at night. That's crazy. They wasn't even the Moroccan noodles. Which noodles were they? I didn't really pay attention. I saw noodles and I saw some other crap. And I thought it was supposed to be enough for the weekend. That looks like a snack for the afternoon. Right, Deborah? Right, Deborah. That was exactly what's in her pantry. Right, Dimple. She'll be at First Watch, or she'll be wherever she wants to be eating, like a whole spread, enough for 2 or 3 people. She was so mad about that too. She didn't. Yeah, she went to the restaurant and she ate. It was like she was at an all you can eat restaurant. Listen. She sure did forget how she went. And I have a video. Let me see if I can get to that video of what you're talking about, Deborah, of her being at CPS. Let me see if I can find that video. Hmm. How are you guys doing this Saturday? You guys doing all right this morning? Okay, here's that video right here of her giving her kids the free food at CPS.
My husband. So they have these little snack bags for your kids. Okay. So we got everybody one. If it don't find out what it is, you trying to get another one. Another one? Can you go to the bathroom, Mom? My husband is helping clean up this mess the kiddos made because we're about to get.
See, her husband helping clean up the mess the kiddos made. Why aren't you helping him clean up the mess the kiddos made?
Ready to go soon. So Peach Patch, we sitting out here eating Underwood, got empty little tummies. I pay for school lunch. It ain't free. Better stop.
See how happy she was to get that free stuff from CPS? Remember, she was dancing and I like the way you are. I like the way you are. I like the way you are. I like the way, kicking her legs up and everything when they were at down to the CPS office getting that free stuff, those free packing plays and formula and all that stuff. She let all that formula go bad. Catch that. Over excess, things that you don't even need. Remember how she used to be so happy to get that wig and do BOGOs and things like that? Remember when they gave all that free COVID PEBT? Remember how happy she was to get those free COVID stamps? Oh, she was happy and bragging. Oh, I got this. Come on, Wood, let's go spend this PEBT. I can't front. I was happy to get it as well. I was happy to get them little white cards. Honey, I was stalking the mailbox waiting on mine. I was right there. I think one summer, I think I got 1,000 a piece for each kid. Remember that, y'all? Good times. Good times. I got 1,000 a piece. I wish I had 9 kids. No, I'm just playing. But she, but since when is Peach McIntyre adverse to receiving freebies? I thought Peach liked freebies. Peach, that's how we got to know you. Remember when you first came to YouTube? Remember you were telling us showing us how people live so good in the projects. Remember how you were showing your audience how they could take their Section 8 and go buy a house? Remember that, Peach? Remember? Oh, how we forget. Oh, they call them blessings in a bag, Nisha. You know what? In the summertime, I don't know if they do it year round, but in the summertime, the school district will email you and let you know that they have free lunches available. And I remember around COVID, around that time, I don't know if they still do these programs. You could go pick up food for the weekend. So yeah, they have so much free food available out there through the school systems. I know at our local college on some days they have like a drive-through you can go to. I'll see people. I'll see the trailers um, parked up at the school, and then you can go do a drive-through through their roundabout, and you can go pick up a basket of food. And I hear people saying that's how they're supplementing their food because food is so expensive. I see a lot of local churches giving that food out. So yes, if it's available and you need it, go get the help. But Peach is not above it. She's not above it. I understand now she feels I make more money. I'm able to afford this. I actually donate stuff. Remember, she was so happy to donate all those school supplies. And what's so funny is this one makes the game so cold. Remember how she was telling all of her followers, listen, if you if your kids go to school without school supplies, that is neglect and you need CPS called on you. Imagine the school calling and having somebody come feed her children because they feel her children are being neglected. That's why it don't pay to talk about people and it doesn't pay to look down on others. Because just the way you're looking down on somebody, somebody's looking down on you. But we still haven't got to that video because she has a message for you guys. Not me. Not me. She ain't talking to me. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, guys. Let me get to that video. Ugh. I'm having a good morning. I am. I am having a good morning. It's all fun. It's all entertainment. It's all entertainment. I know at some point, one of the peach patch, that's not what I call them. I won't tell you what I call them on here. But when somebody is going to come on here at some point this morning and read me my rights, they're going to check me. They're going to come and check me. But y'all, here's the video. Here's the video right here.
My kids, they don't receive free or reduced lunch or breakfast. I've been paying for their breakfast since the last school year. I've been paying for their
I believe her. Remember how proud she was to put $100 in each kid's lunch account? Remember how she, and see, the thing about Peach is that she tells us so much about her life. She gives us so much to work with, right? At the beginning of the school year, she went through each account and let us see how her kids were living at the school. They were up. Each kid, all four of her children, that was Mcintyre. And notice that she's not saying anything about Mcintyre and Mcintyre receiving a free lunch, or you don't hear her mentioning Mcintyre at all in these videos. And that's because Mcintyre is the kid that got pulled out of school, I believe. I believe Mcintyre was so far behind that Peach just said, you know what, let me pull you out. I think he was way too far behind to catch up, even with the help from Sylvan. And that's just my opinion. And that's not on Mcintyre because Peach has said that she wasn't doing what she needed to do to make sure that he was learning at the rate he should have been learning at. She's homeschooled those kids, so that's not his fault. I think, and I don't want to judge kids or say it like this, but I gotta say it like this. I think Mcintyre is one of the smartest kids in that house. I've seen him in action. Mcintyre is a different kid. He's not like them. I believe that he's going to go far in life. And I believe that that little boy is going to make something of himself real great in spite of the things that he has to grow up around and the things that Peach does. I think Mcintyre is going to turn out really well. I don't have any doubts about that. But I feel like he's been neglected. His education has been neglected. And I feel like he's been neglected in not getting attention. I know some people like to have a lot of kids, and that's cool. No, it's not cool. It's not cool if you have kids that are already struggling, like she already has a child that's on the spectrum that needs her, and then she already had Mcintyre, who's who was already suffering from middle child syndrome, who was already separating himself and alienating himself from the family, who already was stretched thin and given signs that he needed room to breathe. You already had that going on. So to add more children to that was honestly neglecting those other children, because you, Peach and Wood, were already underwater with the children they had. Now they already have 9 children. There's no going back. She can't like not have those kids. She already has them. But we see what the ramifications of her decision making is. Even if she had a nanny, even if she had extra pair of hands, that's still not her. That's still not her sitting down reading a book with Mcintyre. That's she spends, if Peach has free time or any time or energy or effort to give, it all goes into McKay. McKay is with her all the time. Even her one and only daughter, Gorgeous, doesn't get that quality time with her like that. And I feel like McKay does. He gets it because McKay is her only friend. You know what I'm saying? McKay is like Peach's bestie, in my opinion. So let's listen to this video, finish listening to this video.
Lunches since the last school year. I pay. My kids aren't the typical black children.
Did y'all hear that? Let me let y'all hear that again.
Typical black children for their lunches since the last school year. I pay. My kids aren't the typical black children.
Well, what the hell is she trying to say? What is she trying to say? What is she trying to say, y'all? I agree, Yoli one and only. The same thing she condemns Tracy for is the same thing she does right now. She's actually doing worse. Because Tracy didn't play about her kids. Everybody says that Tracy kept a clean house and she kept them children clean. Her brother, Akasha, her trans sister, has said it. Everybody said that. One thing about Tracy, Tracy was a hustler and Tracy kept her house clean and she kept her kids clean. Peach has even said her mom was a clean person and kept them clean. You know, and she said her mom used to get on her. You are so nasty. You are so dirty. Well, Peach, were you? Were you dirty? Were you keeping a nasty house? Were you over there tripping over wood and couldn't keep your head on the swivel because you were too busy worried about wood? Was your house nasty? Because you said that your mom used to call you dirty. Why did she call you dirty, Peach? Because I know if I'm clean, if I'm a clean person, and I go to my daughter's house and her house is a mess, I'm going to tell her, you need to get up and clean this house up. This house is dirty and nasty. You need to clean this house up. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Of course, there's a more gentler way that you could say it. And of course, knowing what we know now about mental health, a dirty house, a woman who's not taking care of herself, who's letting herself go, is signs of depression. We know these things now. Back then, preachy Tracy, Tracy the preach, honey, preachy Tracy, whatever the heck her name is, she carried on yesterday. If you guys missed Yo-Yo's live yesterday, honey, go back to that live. Tracy carried on and acted a plum fool yesterday. I was laughing out of control. I was pissy about to laugh. Woo, honey. But I believe her mom kept a clean house, and I believe her mom, because Tracy, as good of a person as she is, she does have many flaws. Very flawed woman. She cursed up a storm yesterday. As much as she's trying to get right with God, she has her flaws. And I believe she was a cussing mama. I believe she was all over them kids as a single mom. Because we see those type of moms who are working, who are cleaning, who are trying to keep their kids up. And, you know, you got a Peach who is probably a little different. And, you know, she's not really educated in parenting and how to treat her children. So I believe a lot of what Peach says is true. But I also believe that Peach is a huge overreactor. We see it right now. Look at how she's carrying on right now. We're seeing in real time how Peach reacts when she feels offended. We're seeing in real time how Peach acts, and she's 36 years old. She has no emotional intelligence. As smart as she thinks she is unable, incapable of approaching life with a level of maturity that a mother of nine should have. That someone who has done the work, according to Pete, she's done the work. Someone like her should not be acting like this, carrying on this way for 3 and 4 days. And it's not just on the internet because she's writing emails. She's going up to the school with her camera. Who does that? Who thinks it's okay to let people see you filming them? First of all, if I was going to record it, I would have just turned my phone on record and they wouldn't have known. I would have just had my phone in my hand on record, recording what was said. Now, why would she think that? That just kind of shows you uh, what age she's at developmentally. Peach is living real life as if it's social media. There's a difference between the life you lead on social media and the games you play on social media with folks, Peach, and then the life you live in real life. Let me continue. I'll give the rest of my thoughts in a minute because that's what she really needs to understand, and she doesn't. This is real life. This is really your kids, and you're really dealing with people. And as she saw real quick, like all them games you like to play at Walmart, cursing people out and carrying on and recording them, that school is an officious place of business. Okay? That's not Walmart. That's not Popeyes. That's a school where they have to protect the children at that school and where they have to protect the integrity of that school. They can't allow people to come to that school making their kids feel safe. Can you imagine those other parents watching her come to that school and do that at the place where their kids go to? Could you imagine your child is a student at Lakewood Ranch Preparatory School and some ditzy person, some ditzy parent came up there cursing and carrying on like that? Imagine how those parents feel. And she said, I don't give a F about the other kids at this school. And you're up there at the school doing that? Imagine. Those parents and those kids did nothing to you or your kids. But you're talking about you don't care about nobody. You only care about your kids getting a free bag of food. Even though it's embarrassing to you, or maybe even your children, it wasn't as harmful as a behavior that you exhibited.
That may be a part of feeding empty little tummies. And once again, here are my children's My School Bucks account where they have money for lunch and for breakfast, and you can see it being deducted.
That is a number one tell if for the schools if those kids need to be on the program. That is like the first way for them to check that.
It sounded like somebody didn't check to see if that was my children's situation.
And as far as we go, we do not pick our kids. These kids are.
Or what?
Numbers are given to us, and
That's more like it.
we provide those bags for the schools, so that way we can provide some anonymity.
My kid.
So, according to the head of feeding empty little tummies, um, those kids are referred to the program. So again, Peach, ask your children, why do they think they were referred to the program? I know she asked the school. She should have got to the bottom of it. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me because I just got a call. She should have asked her children, why are they referring you to this program? Are you going to that school saying you don't eat on the weekends or something? Like, because they said that the kids are referred to their program. The kids who, because they need food to eat.
They aren't typical kids. My kids, they don't receive free breakfast or free lunch, and I am. And
My kids don't receive free lunch or free breakfast either. My kids don't eat that crap at school, but but in California now, all children in public schools are given free lunch. I believe free breakfast and free lunch. I'm not sure, but all kids in California are given free breakfast and free lunch. All kids are given that some bucks in the summer. So my kids received it this year. As long as your child is in a public school, they will get like 40 bucks a month in the summer, which is about $120 to go spend at the grocery store. I got my kids and I spent it happily. Um, I don't know if they give that in Florida still. Do they give those some bucks in Florida? I know some parents in other states said that they also received those free PEBT in the summer. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I wasn't going to send it back and be like, I don't need it. I sure did want that. And I stalked my mailbox waiting on them. I sure did. They stopped giving it to you, Life of a mom of a young man and a little man. The life of a mom of a young man and a little man. I know that's right. Which state do you live in? They gave it to us this year. MMG, remember the last time CPS came to her house, they asked her if she needed any help, and she said, yes, she sure did. She sure did. She said they needed programs. What else did she say they needed? I forgot. She sure did. I remember the very last time he was there. She sure did. Are black people confined to one area in Tampa? You know how it is. In every city you have the hood and you have certain areas. You know, I'm sure that there's probably black people throughout. It's probably some of everybody throughout, but where her kids go to school at, I think her kids were only just a few of the black children there. Wherever school that she whatever in Manatee County and Lakewood Ranch, in that area, there's not many people that look like them. Oh yes, I think she said that while she was reading or playing the video, Peach just said that all kids get free breakfast. There's nothing wrong with it. Let them kids eat for free. That's one last thing you got to pay for. If they can get free lunch and free breakfast, let them eat it. If your children will eat it, my children would always come home talking about they were starving. Lunch was nasty, so I would have to make, lunches for them. I would have to send them to school with snacks and oh my, I'm telling you, the things my children took me through as a mom, I'm still traumatized for all those times I had to stop by the grocery store and get Lunchables and Pop Tarts on the way to work. Oh, it was horrible. You think they gave her paperwork, Yoli? You know what? I don't know if they did or they didn't. Because Peach wanted to fit in so bad with those parents at that school. Peach wanted to fit in so bad. I don't know if she would have signed that at that school. I feel like when she does a lot of things she does it for content. But in her real life, I mean, why else would she go out of her way to, when school started to take all those school supplies, she dropped it off and she showed this is how the parents at my children's school does. This is all of the school supplies we've donated. She wanted to feel like she was that girl. You hear her saying it, I'm her in real life. I'm her in real life. I'm rich. She says it all the time. I'm rich. And listen, this is what she said. Her kids are not like typical. And I want to know what a typical black kid is like. But in case you don't get it, let's let Peach tell
To
you.
see if that was my children's situation.
And as far as we go, we do not pick our kids. These kids are
Or what?
numbers are given to us, and
That's more like it.
we provide those bags for the schools, so that way we can provide some anonymity.
My kids, they aren't. typical kids. My kids, they don't receive free breakfast or free lunch. And I am investigating if we should be getting reimbursed for all the breakfast money that they took from us this year and last year. I'm going to handle that. Meanwhile, we don't get free or reduced lunch. We pay for it.
Also, some discretion and grace.
My two black kids did not deserve a free black plastic bag of free food for food deprived children in your communities.
But we're very grateful for that. But our kids typically receive free or reduced lunches.
Okay, but it was okay for them to get that free stuff from CPS though. So what the problem is? What's the real problem? That's what I want to know. What's really the problem? You live in Tampa. Do you know Peach Yoli? I think she lost a lot of her followers and supporters with talking like that, Yoli, because Tracy has come on here and professing to be one way and, acting differently. Now, if she had said like, look, I love God, but I'm like this too. I'm saved, but I'm still, God is still working on me, honey. I still do this, I still do that. If she had let people know that, I think that would have been more real. Exactly, Deborah. We are not all the same. And the way she speaks, and even the people where she lived are not all the same. From where she comes from are not all the same. Just because you grew up in poverty, that doesn't mean that you will continue that same thing with your children. A lot of people grew up poor. Heck, that's most of Americans grew up having meager, uh, having shortcomings. A lot of us are like that. Only 1% of Americans are at the top of the top economically. So the rest of us are trying to figure it out some way. Some of us are middle class. And what is middle class really? We don't even really have a middle class anymore. We have poor and we have poorer. You know what I'm saying? Um, Although I think that most of us are better off than we were ever, better than we've ever been in life. The majority of us are much better off because I remember growing up in South Central LA, it was a lot of poor people. And now, even in South Central LA, even if you live in the projects, people are doing okay. But it used to be horrible. It used to be really bad. So people are doing a lot better. Even when people were poor, people still made sure their children had clean clothes and made sure that their kids ate every day. But a lot of us can tell the same stories. Oh, remember when we used to eat sugar water? Or remember when we used to eat sugar bread? A lot of us can tell that same story because that's what life was back then. And now kids are able to go to Chuck E. Cheese and Disneyland. These children have it better. And that's not because they broke a generational curse. That's not because we are so much better. It's just because we have access to so much more these days. Just imagine if our mothers were able to go on YouTube and make a television show for us, because that's normally what we're doing. Like we have access to make our own TV shows now. We have access to write our own books. We don't need publishers. There are so many different ways that we can make money these days, and if we are able to tap into that, we can make better lives for ourselves and our children. The way Peach talks about black people need to stop buying what she's selling and see where she would be. Exactly, Karen Scott. Um, that's why I posted this morning because I'm like, what do you mean by typical? What's a typical black person? A typical black mother, a typical black child. Our children aren't going around hungry. Our children aren't standing up when they eat. Our children aren't going to school with kibbles and bits in their hair. Our kids aren't doing that. So what do you mean typical? Honey, money can't buy you class. Money cannot make a good mother. Either it's in you or it's not. I see some moms, their type of content is showing how they're washing their kids' hair, their girls' hair, and getting them ready for the school week. You see them washing clothes and getting their kids set up for the week, their lotion and all of that different stuff. You see them preparing meals. What's her name? Clementine. Honey, you should see those meals she fixed her children. The way she cooks her food. I think that's her name. Clementine. Is that her name? On Facebook. Honey, she used to feed her kids like like they were going to go work a 9 to 5. And those her house was clean. She's a single black mom. And she works. She does her content and she works from home. And she would cook them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 4 and 5 course meals. Granted, she only had 2 children. When you have 2 children, you have more time on your hands. When you have 9 children, things like your kids reading, things like your kids looking well kept, things like your kids having table manners, that's a little harder to achieve because you got so many and you're more tired. You're not getting as much sleep. So you're right. Your kids are not the typical black kids because most kids aren't growing up in a home with all those children. Right, Yoli? Tracy should have just been herself. The cursing passer. Cussing passer. Right. I'm not judging her though, but I know a lot of us. Yeah, I am judging her. Why not? I'm judging you. I'm judging you, Tracy. Not really though, because I know that myself, I know that I love the Lord. Before I got on here gossiping today, I did my prayer and meditation. And it's because I love the Lord that I'm not as bad off as I could be. I could be a shoot, I could be really horrible. But I thank God that, He's still working on me and He's, helping me to be a better person. And I do curse. That's my one vice. I done got over the chocolate, the cigarettes, the drink, and now I have to stop cursing. I am working on that. But I don't think I would ever come on here and just start cursing like that. That's just not me. That's not me at all. That's not if I'm cursing like that, I am hot. I am upset. And I have to get on my knees and pray and ask God to forgive me. I don't like having to do that because I cuss somebody out. That's why I would cut somebody off at the knees before I curse them out. Because like, you're not going to have me that mad. You don't have that kind of control and power over me. But Tracy is like her daughter. She wasn't that mad at Loretta. That was an opportunity for her to carry on and cut up on social media and get people tuned in and talking about her. Tracy know her content is boring. She knows it's boring. And she's went to the school of Peach. She knows how to keep you guys tuned in. That's why she goes back and forth with Loretta every now and again. And I saw Loretta up this morning talking about it as well. She didn't have that many people in her chat though. Peachy Pig never liked herself growing up and was jealous of her sister because of colorism and low self-esteem. Facts. I think that Peach probably felt like her sister was a better looking sister. They look the same to me. But now, as an adult, her sister seems to keep herself up better. Peachy was a little porker when she was younger, a little chubby. But she was a cute little girl, a little bit. But it probably was, she said people called her sister fine ass Drea. So I'm sure that did make her feel some type of way. And if you listen to Peach, a lot of what she says is directed directly at Drea. When she talks about women living in the projects and different things like that, she's talking about her sister. When she talks about, I can't stand a single black mom, I hate a single black mama. They make all these excuses. She said that Drea used to say, I'm a single mom. Can you please buy my kids some shoes? That was probably Drea just trying to get Peach to do something for her because she saw Peach had money or whatever. But Peach is largely talking to her mom when she talks about single black moms. She's largely talking to her sister when she talks about single black moms. And she's talking to the women of Tampa who made her feel less than when she was growing up. All those people who made fun of her for taking Wood back, now she can prove to him, see how much Wood loves me and my children. All that's to prove something to them. Look at me. I got out of Lakewood Ranch. I mean, out of Tampa. Me and my children are living better than you. Yes, I gambled up my money. Yes, Wood cheats, but we are still living better than you, because in her mind, she's doing better than those people in Tampa. She said it. My kids are not the typical black kids. She has a good family and they always gather to the auntie and mama house and have good times together. That's what I saw as well. I also saw, like, you would have never guessed that Wood did that to Tracy, because even after all of that stuff, because of their love for Peach, I mean, yeah, for Peach, they, even Tracy still welcomed him into her home. And she said, my mom did this. My mom, I did choose um, Wood over my mom. I hate my mom. I love Wood. If I don't care how much I love the man, if he picked up a vacuum and beat my mom upside the head with it, he would be gone. He would be gone. I couldn't even look at my mom in the face. I don't care what my mom did to me. And her mom didn't do that much to her. Her mom didn't do that much to her. The stuff that Peach talks about, while it could have been traumatic as a kid, I'm not negating any of her feelings. I'm not saying that it was right. It doesn't rise to the level of the things that she has endured from her husband. The beatings, like Peach has admitted out of her own mouth that she gave birth to her only daughter with a black eye. With a black eye. So you were 9 months pregnant, giving birth with a black eye, and you think that what you say your mom did to you as a child is worse than how Wood has treated you? Oh, Mcintyre, he was like, Troy, sit down. I'm sure that was traumatic for him. Like, when he gets older, when those kids get older, they're going to come back to her. I remember that time you put us on that boat and we were scared. And we thought Choice was going to fall off. Oh, Yoli, you said that she lied on her mom about them being dirty. A lot of people say that, Yoli. Oh, McIntyre will leave them behind. He doesn't like to be late. He seems to hate it there. You notice he doesn't be around her, only Wood and Gregory. Right. She said her kids are not typical black children, Mama 3. That's what she said. We heard it out of her own mouth. That's what she said. Hey, Wanda. Wanda Patterson says, I agree. McIntyre is smart and sweet. Peach is very selfish, only think of herself. I don't like this ignorant person. A lot of people agree with you, Wanda. Right, Yoli. She's trying to relieve her high school experience through McKay. I agree with that. She says it. I never got to drive a car to school. My mom didn't buy me a car. I was envious of all the other kids who um, got cars at school. She said that. Most kids don't get a damn car in high school. Most kids don't, unless they work for them. You know what I mean? Like, I had friends. I knew people who had cars. I didn't have a car. I was just now starting to drive and things like that. When I was 16, I was still my mom's car. And I taught myself how to drive. That's what she get. She should have taught me how to drive herself. They had an extra car they could have let me have and drive. It's just selfish. But yeah, I stole my mama car and started teaching myself how to drive. And then my man finished teaching me how to drive, and then that's when I got a car. I bought my own first car. So my oldest daughter, she bought her own car. She did the same thing to me. She stole my car and taught herself how to drive. My oldest daughter was still in my car. My oldest daughter would have got a car, but my oldest daughter was cutting up, y'all. She was cut up. That oldest one used to cut up on me something terrible. The last thing she was getting was a car, honey. And my second daughter, her sister gave her a car, so she didn't have to buy her own car either. But her first car was a brand new car. She, learned how to drive in the car her sister gave her, and then, was able to buy a brand new car. And now Kamaria, um, I'm looking to buy her a car right now. She just started driving. So she's just now getting licensed, so we're looking for her a car now. It'll just be a little something simple. It ain't gonna be nothing. I learned the hard way, honey. Don't buy these kids a brand new car for their first car when they're learning to drive, honey. Let them tear up something. No. But yeah, a lot of kids didn't have a car bought by their parents because for whatever reason, they just didn't. And then I know a lot of kids where I come from, a lot of them, their parents, were well off. A lot of the clear children, for lack of a better term. I would see them working, and then their parents would pay half, and then they would pay the other half. Or if their parents did get them a car, they had to pay for the insurance. I saw a lot of that growing up. And like I said, those kids didn't grow up feeling deprived. They didn't grow up feeling traumatized. It just was what it was. When we were growing up, things were a lot different. Nowadays, parents are buying their kids these muscle cars, these cars that they're racing up and down the highways with and getting caught up with. So I don't think anything is big about that. Peach wants to take McKay to go buy one of those race car type of cars. So what car was it that they were looking at? $100,000. That just goes to show you how simple minded she is, because you don't own a home. Why would you buy your kid a car like that? I am 64 and I have never met a person like her. I wish someone would intervene for the sake of the children. You know what, Cheryl? I think that's what the Lakewood Ranch was trying to do with feeding empty little children, feeding little. They trying to help her, but look at her. You can't help somebody that don't want the help, right, Yoli? You always have that one child that's going to check you, right, and say, "Hey, mom, this is not correct. This is not," because he knows better. He knows, and he's gonna tell her. And I'm sure he says a lot more off camera. Right, Mama Three. She's always. I mean, a lot of her content, like somebody said on her, is boring. Like you just have to just be a fan of hers or a supporter of hers to watch it, right? But a lot of her content that she does, she can do right there in the home. She can do right there in the home while those children are at school. I agree. And for her part, Yoli, she has admitted that she was slacking on her motherhood. She did admit that. Thank you, Hazel. Guys, please hit the like button for me. I think that you know what, Cece? Um, so far from what we have seen in the children, I believe McIntyre and I believe Gorgeous probably have a lot of potential. I just because I just seen how Gorgeous acts certain times and the things that she says. Remember when Peach said she was having twins, and I think it was either Gorgeous or McIntyre that said he don't sound happy to me. And she was like, "You don't think he's happy? He don't sound like he not happy." Them kids was like, "Shh, please." They weren't happy about it. I think it was either McIntyre or Gorgeous. One of them told her he don't seem like he happy about hearing that to me. Right, Yoli. I think that she wouldn't drop those kids off at the tutoring, and she went back up there because she could have called. She could have called. I think she did call. But she definitely used it as a way to get content. Yes, Cancer 66, she did donate school supplies. All the parents donated school supplies, not just her. She really could have just sent her kids up there with supplies for themselves. But Peach likes to overdo everything to look like she's Big Willie, to look like she really has it going on. Hey Jazzy, hey Butterfly, hey Deneen. What's good, everybody? Hey Regina. She definitely does care about what those people think of her. It wasn't just that she here's the difference. A lot of people are saying that she accepts free stuff. Um, I think she was doing it for content. Like when she goes to CPS, look, all I'm gonna do is get free stuff. When you guys call on me, all I'm gonna do is get free child care. All I'm gonna do is be able to do this and do that. I think that's why she did that, right? But as well as to use it as an opportunity to make content. She was using that opportunity to make content as well. However, you have to realize when she came to Lakewood Ranch, this is Peach's coup de grace. This is me, my coming out moment. This is me finally sticking it to all those folks in Tampa who made me feel, I'm not saying that they did this, but this is how she felt. She felt less than nothing in Tampa. She felt like a fool for staying with Wood in Tampa after he cheated. Everybody talked about her. She probably has been hearing people tell her to leave Wood. Even her family has said that you need to leave Wood. She has said that when Wood would cheat on her, her family would be like, "You need to come outside. You need to get dressed and come outside instead of sitting around crying over Wood." She has said that she would sit at home and cry over Wood, and Wood would be out cheating, and then Wood would put his hands on her. She has said that, and her sister Akasha, who used to be her brother Pierre. I'm not saying that to misgender him. I'm just saying that so you guys know which sibling I'm talking about. He said that the family would say stuff to Wood. He said, but then Peach would just go right back to him, and they would tell her like, "You stupid for doing that." Like she would be so stupid for him, and still is. But now she's angry at herself, and she's gotten to the point where she does dislike him. She does dislike the fact that she has done everything in the world to please him and to get him to see her. And she knows that he's really only there because they have all those children and she has to pay him so much money. So that does make her feel away. And it's what it has done to her because people said Peach used to be sweet. Her mother said she was a sweetheart until she got with Wood. And I believe that what happened with Peach is what happens with a lot of women, not just her. A lot of women get with these men and they lose themselves. They're trying to prove themselves to these men and, oh, look at me, please choose me. She even said she wanted Wood to choose her over his mom because his mom and his family do not like her. They've never liked her. I can't blame them. Look at how she acts. I couldn't blame a mom not liking someone who would dare to come over to my house when I'm burying my child and throw all my other's child clothes. There would have been nothing that could have kept me off of that girl that day. Nothing. I would have did the time. I would have sat. You wouldn't even have to come bail me out. I would have sat in that jail. I would have sat right there in that jail. You came to my house carrying on, and I just let my child out. Bury my child. I would have let every ounce of grief I had out on Peach that day. Right. She don't donate and help to anyone else. That's what she said herself. She said it herself. Deneen, I don't know. I believe that you probably can't record. You know what, Deneen? I don't know the rules and the laws in Florida, but I know here in California, you are not allowed to just come on the school grounds. Like you see, she had to be let in the school. So on school grounds, you can't record kids. They send you home a permission slip to allow them to take pictures of kids and things like that. Not always let them because the pictures are usually used to make different things at school. Like the teacher will take pictures of the students all year long. I know sometimes they'll upload them onto the app so you can see the different things that the kids are going and doing in school. And if they don't have permission, they can't upload your children to those different school sites. They can't use them in anything like that. Um, you even have to get permission for your kids to watch movies. So no, she does not have a right, and it's not legal. Even though school is a public setting, it's still, and that's what she doesn't get. Again, she is living her life as if it's the Truman Show. Peach, you're the only one living your life like everything is up for grabs. Nobody else is doing that. It's just me says she is so fake. She takes free diapers, free formula that she didn't use and let go bad, then took the free diapers back for credit money. Absolutely. Hey, still fine. Oh, I like that. Hey, still fine. Good afternoon. She doesn't have the facts, only what Gorgeous told her because she wasn't allowed to film content. Absolutely. She doesn't know exactly, and she should have been trying to go on a fact finding mission because one thing kids would do if they don't do nothing else is have you looking like a fool. My mom said, I never got out there and defended y'all because who knows what y'all would have done. I was like, Mom, you supposed to take our side anyway. Me and my mom still get into that about that. Like, no, you take my side. I'm gonna take my kid's side every time, but I want to know what happened. I want to hear it from my children. I want my children to tell me what happened, and then I want the school to tell me what happened before I get irate, before I get out of control, before I get to carrying on and make myself look stupid because my kids came home and told me something. For all she knows, white kids could have got that food. But you know, the school can't tell you what they give to other kids, and they love to use that. They'll say, well, we can't tell you about other people's children. Now, if the school is saying, I can't tell you what's going on with other children, what makes you think you can go into that school and film? Peach knows that. I don't know why she thinks the rules are only for her. Tracy was SA'd as a child, and maybe that's why she turned to women. I would get tired of an old woman talking about me and defining my character. Then she wants to get a lawyer. Who? LB wants to get a lawyer. Child, bye. Child, bye. Those two. You know what? I don't really watch LB because she curses all the time. And I told y'all. I told y'all. I'm saved. I'm a saved sinner and I'm trying to stop cursing. And the thing that are my vices, I don't like in other people. I don't like when people just every other word is a curse word. And so I was just dying laughing at Tracy yesterday because it was funny because we don't normally hear her using profanity. So to hear her call her a old ugly itch, it was like you can go tell that heifer. It was more funny than anything, and I feel like Tracy was putting on the show. I definitely believe that Tracy was putting on the show. Her daughter is Peach. She knows what brings in the money. She knows how to get people tuned in. She knows people only want to hear but so much of her saying, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. She know people only want to hear so much of how's everybody doing today. Like that gets old. And so instead of her pivoting and going to other content and making more positive content and showing different sides of her life, the only thing she knows to do is to go to the opposite and do the reverse, right? And the shock value content like her daughter does. Because I'm sure Peach has told her that. I'm sure she's told her like this is what's gonna work because she tells uh her students that, if that's what you can call them. she, what is Peach really teaching them? Cherry Berry, I don't think Peach absolutely does care what people think. Everybody cares what people think. People would say, "Oh, I don't care what people think," but what people say about us, words hurt more than a knife. People care what people say about them. Now, if she cares enough not to display that behavior, absolutely not. Peach cares what people think about her because she didn't want people to know what Wood did to her mother. She cares what people think because she's been mad at her mom ever since she told what happened. That's why she's mad at her mom, because now everybody knows what Wood did. She got so mad at her brother for telling that she had to go get a DNA test on her children. She got so mad at him for revealing some of her stuff that she told everything because she was so mad at what they had revealed. So she absolutely does care what people think of her. That's why you know, she cares a lot about what those people in Lakewood Ranch think of her. She absolutely does care. She cares. Butterfly, what's going on? How are you and the kiddos? Daily Sis with Jazzy. You really want to go to Houston, girl? We should do it. We should do it. I'm doing it next month. Um, Absolutely, Deborah. She's talking to her family. She's talking to those people in Tampa. In her mind, she felt like she got out of Tampa. She got out the hood. She said that. She said that. She said Wood is trying to sabotage her. Everything that she got away from, he keeps going back to. That's where his family is, where his mother, his siblings, where his other children are. What makes her think that he's supposed to just give up all of that for her because he's married to her? When you marry, you're supposed to love your spouse, and you're supposed to leave your family and cling to your family, to your new wife or husband. That is true. But if you love your spouse, unless his family was causing him some type of trauma, or unless they were causing your family some type of drama or something like that, you wouldn't expect him to not see his family. And I don't think that's the case. I think that family just doesn't like Peach because of how she is. You know what I'm saying? I believe they blame her for a lot of Wood's shortcomings. You know what I'm saying? And Wood is a grown man, but Wood is also, I feel like he is, I feel like he has diminished intelligence as well. I really feel like that. I don't know how well, because I'm not a therapist and I haven't examined him and I haven't, assessed him. But from what she says, he was on in special classes. He was in special classes, and just the way how he responds, like, what man would really stay with a woman that talks about his mother like that? That, constantly goes on social media and talks about his mother like that. I don't know a man that would stay with a woman who behaves that way, who talks down to him like that. So that lets me know he really doesn't have any self-esteem or pride within himself either. I'm laughing at Intuitive Chosen One. She says she brought all this. Um, oh, she brought all the mess to the internet, and Loretta added more to things she thinks she knows about Tracy. As an older woman, she's messy and wants sympathy. Right? They're all messy. They're all messy, and they give Tampa a bad rap, but most of us who know better know that everybody is not like that. Because if everybody was like Peach, all those people she talks about would have came on social media and they could have made a bag. Her sister could make a bag. I'm sure her sister has so much tea on Peach. Drea probably has so much stuff that she could come on social media and talk about Peach, but she hasn't done it. She's never done it. The only thing she has said is that how they had to go and pick her up off the floor because she wanted to off herself over Wood. And she told us that herself, really. She said she cut off all her hair and she wanted to jump in the ocean and she cannot swim because Wood wanted to sleep with her hairdresser. Peach said that out her own mouth. So really, Drea didn't really tell any of her tea. You know, she just said she wasn't an internet girl like Peach, and she wasn't never gonna be on the internet like her. But I feel like, for all the stuff that she talks about her mother has never said anything bad about her. She's only ever said anything about Wood, what Wood did to her. And she still didn't. I would, if she was my daughter, she would have got the business a long time ago. For real. But if I had to think about who was the worst person out of all of them, it would be Peach. Hey Roxy, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. I would elect Peach as a person that, was the one with the worst reputation. Hold on, Yoli. Wait a minute, back up. What happened in that fire? What happened in the fire? Oh, you know her from Robles Park when they stayed there back in the day. What? Your mom grew up in Ponce in West Tampa, CC. Uh, right, Nicole. She does too much. Ooh, when the way she takes that spoon and the way she holds it and shovels the eggs and grits, I'm like, why does she hold her spoon like that? And the way she puts it in her mouth, I didn't like that. I didn't like how she did that. Yeah, now she's trying to get back the money that she paid for their breakfast and lunch because she said that, well, the lady that represents Feeding Empty Little Tummy said that breakfast was supposed to be free. But apparently, Lakewood Ranch has been charging Peach for breakfast, but it's a charter school. Just like here in California, when all the kids were getting the PEBT, if your kids went to a private school, if they went to a virtual school, or if they went to like one of those charter schools, they didn't get it. They didn't get the PEBT. Peachy Pig. Okay, I read that. Oh, your mom got off Section 8 and now owns two homes, makes over six figures, about to retire at 56, and now finishing for her RN schooling. Being from projects don't hinder you, it gives drive. Absolutely, CC. And that's the thing I tell people on here too, like, don't let anybody tell you uh, or make you feel bad if you have to get food stamps or if you have to live in Section 8 housing. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about that, because I'll tell you, if I could have got Section 8 housing, I would have got it. If I could get food stamps, I'm going to get it. I'm going to feed my children. I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm not going to go out here and hit somebody over the head or do something illegal or something that compromises my integrity. But I'm going to feed these kids the best way I know how, as legal as I know how. And I'm going to go above and beyond. And food stamps, if you're a mom and you have children, you want more for your kids than food stamps. Most people. So if somebody's on food stamps or something like that, most of the time, what they're doing is they're using it to get ahead. They're using it for the meantime. Most people, the majority of people, are not going to stay on food stamps because it's not enough. It's not enough to just be on Section 8 or to just live in the projects. Some people do end up getting stuck in that lifestyle, but that tends to be people who are already stuck. That's not people who are doing it because they're trying to get a hand up. But I think that people also get stuck when they don't accept help or when they don't get the help that's out there. Peach wouldn't have to compromise her integrity so much if she did accept some help for her and those children. Like, why would you want to willingly pay $5,000 for tutoring where the school should have tutoring? Why would you send your kids to a charter school that doesn't have those type of programs available? Pull their butts out of there. They can't keep up no way. They're not ready for that. Put them in a regular public school where they offer free tutoring services, where they offer free speech services. Why do you got your kids going to the school where they can't keep up and you're paying all this money that you could be using for their future, that you could be using to pay for your own house? If you spend $5,000 a month for the rest of the school year is 9 months long. If you spend $5,000 a month for 9 months, that's almost $50,000, and that could have went on a house that you own instead of you renting. She doesn't make sense at all. You could hire a college student to do it for way less than that. You can hire a tutor from anywhere and let your kids get online and do the homework and stuff with them instead of trying to prove something to social media, because you're not proving anything to me but how financially irresponsible that you are. They probably did, Deborah. They probably asked for more food. They did something. A lot of people said that, Yoli. You believe she was behind that fire? I remember she was on that the news talking about it. I've heard people actually allege. We're gonna say allegedly because I don't know. That's a crime. I'm not gonna accuse her of, but I know that I've heard people say before that she was responsible for that, Yoli. They absolutely did give her a reality check, Regina. Yep. That for me, that was like a microaggression of them letting Peach know what they thought of her and her children. I really think that's what it was. I don't think they believe those children are hungry. Her kids don't look hungry. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to put her children down, but Gorgeous doesn't look like she's missing any meals. They didn't think that she was hungry. They don't look like hungry kids. They could be greedy and want more food, right? But they don't look hungry. And that was clearly a message that the school was sending to her. Your brother-in-law lost everything in that fire, and she will receive karma for all that she's done. Crooked facts. Whoa, Yoli. Oh, well, I'm not going to talk about that because you know what? I don't know anything about arson. And I'm not going to touch that, but you guys know her better than I do. So we're going to say allegedly. Um, who knows? Who knows what people do, I just say I hope she wouldn't do something that crazy. And if she did, those type of things do come back to haunt you. Absolutely. We listen and we do judge because they put their lives they portray to the internet for profit, and it's not cool for them to come after content creators. Absolutely, Yoli. It's just like if we watched a movie and we came on here and gave our reactions and how we felt about the movie we watched. It's the same thing. If you're going to come on here as a content creator and use your life like a television, like even something as serious as her having a meeting with her children's school, even something as serious as that was going to be filmed and edited because she was only going to put out what she wanted to put out, and I understand why the school didn't allow her to do that. Because you think Peach is gonna, just like she talked about all those black women that showed up for her eviction proceeding. Nobody wanted to see her evicted. People wanted to see why the why they were kicking her out. People just wanted to be nosy and to see what Peach wasn't going to tell us. Oh, she didn't want us knowing that. She did not want us to know what her former management thought of her at that townhouse. That's why she did everything possible to make sure that we didn't know. Because if she hadn't settled, then we would have been able to read what happened in court on the docket. But because she settled, that's what we got to see, that there was a settlement and that she had to move in 30 days and that she agreed to pay the rent. That's what we got to see. If they didn't settle with her and they wanted to evict her, they would have laid out all the reasons why they wanted to evict her, and we would have been able to see that on the court transcripts. But she intercepted that and said, oh, this is a bunch of women on social media who are trying to see what's going on in court so that they can report it back to social media. Actually, an eviction is a public proceeding, so whoever wanted to do that had every right to do that. That wasn't a private proceeding, but because of what she said, the judge was like, okay, I sense funny business. We're going to come back. We're going to try to have it to where nobody can see. She said, well, you're not allowed. Well, what she was able to say was people were going to record it now and screenshot it and screen record it. That wasn't allowed. You're not allowed to record those court proceedings, but you were definitely allowed to view them and give your opinion on them. And she didn't want the public to know what was being said about her, because I'm sure that her former management company, I'm sure they had a lot to say about her, and she didn't want that getting out. And if it did get out, she wanted it to be on her own terms. She wanted to be able to use that footage to be able to make money off of it. She wasn't going to let someone someone else in the public be able to have that benefit. So she actually was going to allow us to hear the parts that she wanted us to hear from the school, and so that she can make money off of it. But when she wasn't able to do that, then it was like, I don't want to have a meeting with you anyway, because I'm sure by now Peach knows what happened. Peach knew what happened by the time she gave that food back to the school. She already knows why they gave that food to her kids, but she still acted an ass and went back up there and performed at that school. She's still talking about it 3 days later. 3 days later, she's still on it. She sure did, Anon. She sure did post the link and said, everybody show up since everybody's talking about it. I saw the eviction on one of these message boards I belong to. I saw it, just like I saw where they stripped Wood of his driver's license. I believe he doesn't have his driver's license anymore, and I believe he owes back child support. That's why we don't see him driving the children anywhere anymore. Cherry Berry, I did not care if she, hold on, let me drink some water. I'm doing a lot of talking. Cherry Berry, I knew that if Peach got evicted or not, she was going to land on her feet. She has, one thing about Peach, she has a massive following of supporters that's going to hold her down. Even if they only sent $1, they were going to send her money to make sure her and those children were able to get in a hotel room or be able to be able to rent another place. Peach was not going to be living on the street with her and those children. I knew that wasn't going to happen. So that wasn't that wasn't a concern or an issue for her or her kids. I knew she would get another place. I wanted to know why they wanted her out of there, because she loved to say, oh, that she was accepted there, that her behavior in that clubhouse was absolutely okay. Remember, she said, well, it's an unwritten rule. People who live in who work in these spaces, that we know these unwritten rules. Okay, when you were just at the clubhouse, okay, your other the other tenants there, they had an issue with your behavior there, and you still continue to go into that clubhouse, making videos and carrying on. Then you wanted to do that more recently at the restaurant. You wanted to do that at the library. Everywhere you go, you are making an issue for yourself, and then you want to push out narratives that you create in your own mind. So a lot of people wanted to find out what was happening at the eviction proceeding. Nobody cared about her getting evicted, because again, we knew she was going to have to move, no matter if she paid that rent or not. Those people wanted her out of there. They wanted her out of there because of all of her children and all the things that she was doing, carrying on during the hurricane. Her kids being loud, I'm sure. Her and Wood getting into it, the police being called, CPS being called. They didn't want none of that going on in that community. That wasn't the community that was going to be about that type of business. They was not on that type of time. Nobody cared if she got evicted. Yep, she's always calling CPS on herself. And she says she has, who would call CPS on themselves? She has advised her followers to call CPS on themselves numerous times. She has gave them the whole game plan of what to do. And you think that your kids getting a free bag of food is worse than that? Calling CPS on yourself? That's crazy. Right. Every time she wants to sell classes, it's drama. That's how she gets a new batch of followers to come in and buy her classes. Do I think they banned her from where, Butterfly? From TikTok or from the school? I think she's definitely taking her kids out of school because here's the number of reasons why she's going to be taking those kids out of school. One, she's tired. We know Peach sticks to nothing. Anything Peach says she's going to do is just for content or just for the moment. Remember, she said she was going to be on this new weight loss uh, kick. She was saran wrapping her stomach. Uh, she was, and all this different stuff she's supposed to be. She was making these different meals. Remember, she had even planned a few meals for herself. That's all thrown out the window. Remember, after she had the twins, she had lost a little of that fluid and stuff that women lose after they have a baby. So she thought that was real weight, and it crept right back on her because she returned to eating the junk that she likes to eat. But remember, she said she was going to get herself in order. Remember that at the beginning of this year. Now she's back on that she's working out. How long will she stick to it? I don't know. I hope she does get it together. I'm on a weight loss journey myself, and so I know how hard it can be to stick to a disciplined way of living. I'm ready to crack at any moment. I'm telling you guys that right now. I could crack today. But I'm 3 months clean and sober. No soda, no no fast food, no ribs. Y'all, no fried chicken, no fried catfish. Oh, no chai tea. I wanted chai tea so bad yesterday, real bad. And it was cold last night. I could have had me a chai tea, but I also know I don't like how I feel when I eat that stuff. So that's what's keeping me motivated. But my point is, Peach sticks to nothing. Last summer, she was out at Barnes and Noble doing the same thing she did just in the last month or two, buying books. What happened to the books you bought last summer, Peach, that you were going to make sure your children read? What happened to that? So this summer, she's doing the same thing all over again. It's always the same thing with her. I'm going to start doing this. What happened to her eating family style with the children every night? What happened to that? It's all content. A lot of the things that Peach says and does, it's all for content. That's it. The rage baiting, even this right now, she was pissed about that. But she was already thinking of taking her kids out of that school because, one, they weren't learning anything because they can't keep up. They can't keep up with those kids. Those kids are advanced. So, wait a minute, I got to pay all this extra money for tutoring and speech and whatnot just to say my kids go to school with these rich kids in this better neighborhood. Then I got to drive probably 2 hours in the morning there, 2 hours in the evening back home. I'm not seeing my husband. Wood is overwhelmed and overworked. I'm not seeing the twins. I'm tired. I'm not getting any sleep. I'm out all day trying to find somewhere to shoot my short set. She's tired of it. She's been ready to stop. She was ready to stop doing that at the door. So that's what that's about. Number one, her money is funny, okay? From having to try to get her kids up to speed, from trying to catch them up to speed with the Lakewood Ranch kids, and it's not happening. So finally, she had to just pull Mcintyre out because it was hopeless. She hasn't told us why yet. She hasn't told us why. She may. She may. Because she'll tell it all if it's going to get her, if it can get her some money. She will will tell it. Because that's what it really is. It's not that she's not embarrassed. She just knows that she can get more money by just being outrageous and open. So that's what she'll do. Um, Tracy probably don't want to be bothered with those kids like that anyway. She probably wants to see them, and she probably wants to have peace in her life. But I'm sure she has more peace anyway. She's probably living better and feeling better about life now that Peach and those kids are gone, and she doesn't have to babysit in order to get along with Peach, because that's what Peach really wanted. Peach really wanted a built-in babysitter. She wants somebody to watch her kids all the time while her and Wood go make another 10 kids. Hey, Ann, how are you doing? And Peach is not going to tell us because she's embarrassed and it bring her to shame. Right. She can create at home while the kids are at school, but that would require her to be there with those other kids and to help Wood. And then you got to realize, too, if Wood is at home with those babies all day, then he's not out cheating. He's at home. Right, Cherry Berry. Those kids will see. They'll go looking for Tracy. Especially if Tracy loved on them and treated them right. They're gonna go looking for her. McKay can drive now. He's 18. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't call his grandmother. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go over there and see his grandmother sometimes. He will eventually. You said Peachy needs a redemption tour. She absolutely does, and she needs to start by getting on her knees and asking God for forgiveness for all the disrespect and blasphemous things she has said in relation to him. She gets them up at 4 a.m. to get ready, Anon, so that they can fight through traffic. Plus, the commute from Lutz to the school is about She lives in Lutz. You think she took the books back, Deneen? It's money, so she says, but owns no house, no car. Where's the farm? I know. She said she was making what? 1,300,669. What she said she wanted to make $1,369,000 or something like that, and she was gonna have a house. I mean, she was gonna build her own house on a farm, and Tracy was getting a giraffe, and she was getting a horse. Didn't she say, or a zebra? A zebra. She did say that. She did. Hey, Bo One for Life. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not going to crack, y'all. I'm not going to crack. Crack is whack. Listen, I'm too rich for that. I don't do crack. Okay? I do not do crack. And crack is chocolate and candy. Crack is I'm not gonna crack, you guys. I said I got 15 more pounds, and I'm eating a lot, guys. I eat a lot of food. I don't know how I'm losing the weight because I barely work out, but I guess just my body just wanting to release all of that toxic stuff and just being so happy to finally have some type of water, some type of fruits and vegetables. It was tired of all the fried foods and all of that, all the pasta. I love me some pasta. I guess my body was tired of all that crap. And now that I eat, I only use olive oil. I don't eat pasta. I drink a lot of water. I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables and things like that. And those things, all food is not created the same way. Some food just makes your body hold on to fat a lot more. Like if it has a lot of sodium and a lot of sugar in it, you're going to hold on to the weight a lot more. Whereas other foods is going to it's going to come right back out of you, if you know what I mean. That's one, and you're going to burn that fuel a lot better. So it doesn't take a lot, especially if you're a big girl like me. So just for me, I guess changing what I eat and also not eating quite so much, right? I've been able to lose like 3 pounds a week. So, and I've been able to move more and do more. So, I'm not gonna crack. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And like I said, I think I have 13 more pounds to get to my next goal. And once I get there, I don't know. I don't know. I think once I get there, I'll be so happy I'm there that I'm going to keep going. I think that's really what I'm going to do. And it's been a change for me because when you are used to eating whatever you want to, when you're used to celebrating with food and things like that, like, okay, it's my birthday, so I'm going out to eat, or okay, whatever it is, right? And you go out with your friends or whatever. Okay, let's go. Going out to eat is something to do, right? So when food is not, on the agenda anymore, it's like, okay, we're not going out to eat. Or, like last night, we went out and I'm like, what? Shoot, I'm bored. I don't have I don't have snacks. I don't have no food. Like, what is this? Right? So, it's a lot. It's a lot. But no, I am not going to crack. I do remember Deneen when she was pressed for money and had to use that $70 Costco cash. We remember. We've been watching. We remember. We remember that. We remember. We remember also when she had to go get that change to get gas because she was waiting on her Facebook check and it hadn't dropped yet. It absolutely does, Cherry Berry. It does make you feel heavy and bloated. Am I eating more protein? Protein is hard for me to get in. I try to sometimes. And one thing about it is when I eat protein, a lot of protein, then that means I have to eat. It's like I'm trying to bulk up, and I'm not really doing weight training right now. That's for people who are weight training. Number one, more protein. Number two, when I eat a lot of protein, I feel like I'm overeating. Like I did that one week because I belong to this fat loss group on Facebook, and they were all talking about protein, 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 protein. And as soon as I started eating protein, I feel like I was eating a lot more, and I felt that bloating feeling that I used to have, and so I don't like feeling like that. Yeah. I agree with you, Tasha. I did a live about that, or I posted a video about that. Would Peach needing to let Wood be a man? I posted something about that a few weeks ago or a couple of months back. I know I did that. You guys remember that video I posted about how Peach needs to, I think I even said that the other day that she needs to let Wood step up, but maybe he can't, or maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he likes things the way they are, but he does seem awfully tired. The person in that relationship that has it the worst to me is not it's not Peach. Peach can have those babies back to back, and I just knew. I said, okay, when she has these twins, she's not going to be able to leave Wood at home with those twins like that. And I couldn't believe that she would do it anyway. And she did exactly that. I could not believe that as soon as those kids came home. Do you guys remember when both of those kids came home from the NICU? She left him home all day long to go sit on live all day long at the clubhouse. Remember she was doing that? Then she said, oh, I got to go pump my milk. Wood is mad at me. He wants me to pump the milk. He said, go take that food up to my babies. And remember how she would go to the NICU and stay all day long at the NICU with the kids and leave him home with all those other kids? I thought that was just outrageous. I, I really did, because yes, you did have children in the NICU, and yes, I think you should have went and saw them, and I think you should have pumped milk for them. But to go and stay all day long like that, and then she finally admitted that them being a NICU was like having childcare, and that she liked being at the NICU with those kids because she could get away from home. She admitted that. As soon as she had those babies, she was right back at Disney, carrying on. I think Peach is really narcissistic and really only cares about what Peach wants. That's just my observation. It doesn't really matter if the kids want to go to Disney all weekend, we're going. It doesn't really matter if Wood is stuck home with the kids all day long. Oh, well, those are his kids too. I'm making the money. But you're just really going on online, making a fool of yourself, using him for content, using your mother for content. So are you really making all the money yourself? Like, if we're just being real. She says, I don't need my family to make content, but from what I see, you use your family quite often. Very often, you're using your family. I think she did right by leaving his behind with the kids while she was at the NICU after birth. She needed that, and that's the least he can do. He don't do nothing else besides clean. She don't do nothing else either, but sit in the library all day. She does nothing else either. Right, equate NICU for childcare. She said that. She said that. Remember, were going away for the weekend, and I think she went and dropped some milk off for the kids. She said, the good thing about my kids being in the NICU, free childcare. She said that. Jennifer says, chia seeds on top of your food will help you feel full. I think chia seeds has a lot of protein too, doesn't it, Jennifer? Right, she isn't going to burn any food from scratch. Yeah, you have to cook your food. Um, I be eating the same thing every day, like just tuna and eggs or potato bowls. A lot of people, potatoes and rice get a bad rap, but I eat a lot of potatoes and rice. Right, Cherry Berry. I only drink water. I did have some juice these last couple of days, and I was like, "Girl, what are you doing?" Like, I don't drink juice. It does. Water changes everything. My niece hadn't saw me in a couple of months, and she was like, "Yeah, your skin looks like you only drink water. I can tell, like your skin is glowing." And it is. It is. I have like some hyperpigmentation on my cheeks, and it's starting to go away. But I see it's starting to look a little bit darker again because I've been eating a lot of grapes, and grapes have a lot of sugar. I don't know what I've been doing, but I need to just go back to drinking a lot more water because it was going away. Jennifer says she'll make a grilled chicken salad at home and load it up. Cucumbers, cranberries, carrot shreds, lettuce, spinach, and even my kids will eat it all. My kids like salads too, but you know what, Jennifer? I found out this time around, I don't like salads like that. I thought I did, but it takes a lot for me to eat salads. Salads are hard to eat as you start getting older, and I'm getting old. Um, Salads can be hard to digest. Like if you're eating it the right way with like romaine lettuce and stuff like that. I don't really care for romaine lettuce. I should get me some romaine lettuce though today so I can make some shrimp boats. That sound good with shrimp and avocado and pico de gallo and I already have lettuce in there, but I don't have avocado and cucumber. I take lettuce and put oh, I have enough lettuce to make like a lettuce burrito with carrot shreds and all that. Oh, you know what, Jennifer? You may have given me a good idea. Deborah, actually, my doctors at Kaiser are advising to eat plant-based. Um, that's low protein and mostly fruits and vegetables, and like lean meats like chicken and fish. But they actually want us to eat more fruit and vegetables and just some meat and like protein sources like beans and things like that. I also found out that I cannot eat beans. I love beans, but beans do not love me. I've been eating a lot of vegetable tacos, and now I just eat ground beef tacos. I love ground beef tacos. Um, Tacos also get a bad rap, but tacos, I've been losing a lot of weight eating a gang of tacos with, and just packing them up with lettuce and vegetables and stuff like that. So yeah, there's ways to do it to eat the kind of stuff you like. But also when you're trying to lose weight, you got to realize you got to give up some stuff. I was talking to somebody and they said, "Well, you can't give up everything." Yes, you can. Yes, you can give it up. Like, you do not need to eat junk food. You do not need to drink soda or none of that stuff. And if you're trying to get your health together, you got to give it up. If you have gotten to the point like me, I had high blood pressure and my blood sugar levels were elevated. If you have got to that point, then you have no choice but to change your eating habits. And I mean, you got to stop. We got to stop lying to ourselves. You can't just eat whatever you want. You can eat that stuff here and there, but me, I was eating that kind of stuff like every day, and it was hurting me. If it's not affecting you, okay, I understand you. You know, splurging a little bit more on your diet. But if you're like me and you have things going on, your time out for eating whatever you want. You got to take a time out for that stuff. And that's what I told this person, like, like you're already to the point where you have health issues, so you can't afford to just eat whatever you want to. Now it's eat for health and eat for nutrition. You keep eating whatever you want to, you're going to be up out of here. Thank you, Deborah. I'm going to be honest with you, Deborah. I definitely wanted to explore the Ozempic stuff, but I'm not a candidate for Ozempic. Ozempic can, if you have anxiety, which I have, it can worsen your anxiety. It will make your heart race and all of that. I know a lot of people say they don't have any symptoms from it, but some people that I've seen take it, and not all people, but some of the people I've seen take Ozempic, they have side effects like problems with their stomach. They also lose hair. Another side effect of Ozempic is that you get flabby, and you get those bat arms, like somebody whose name I won't mention. You get that when you lose the weight too fast. And then not only that, if you can't come off of Ozempic. If you come off Ozempic, you're going to gain that weight back plus more. Um, I know some people say they didn't gain the weight back, but most of the time, if you take like a weight loss drug or you get the weight loss surgery, at some point that weight is going to start coming back once you get off the drugs and once your stomach settles in or whatever. So for me, it was more so about getting healthy than it was about losing weight. And I knew that me getting healthy was me losing weight was going to be a byproduct of me getting healthy. I knew once I went from drinking soda mostly to drinking water, my blood sugar was going to go back down. I knew that if I went from eating junk food to eating only the foods I prepared at home, I knew that my blood pressure was going to go down. I knew it because I had did it before, and I knew that I was having those issues mainly because of my diet. So I knew that if I changed my diet, that those things would correct themselves. My breathing would get better and I would feel better. So once I started feeling better, it became easier to keep going because I didn't want to go back to how I was feeling. And I'm down about 40 pounds since July. So I think I'm losing about a good 13 pounds a month. And that's without Ozempic. So it can be done. It can be done. And that's without a lot of exercise. I am moving more, so we can do it. You just have to put your mind to it, because I was like, oh my gosh. I just kept praying and praying and praying about it. And then finally I just felt worse than ever. And I said, okay, I got to do this. And I had set a date for myself anyway, and I kind of still passed that date up. But I was like, no, I got to do this. And once I felt that way, like I got to do this for me, it was able to do. It was easy to do. Okay, guys, we are almost there at 100 likes. I need 6 more likes to get me to 100. Can we get there? I know you guys are in the bushes. I know some of you guys have come and gone and come back again. I know some of you are new here, and you need to go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well while you're at it, because we got a lot of good stuff coming up for the end of the year. Yep. And let me know if you rocking with me today, because you guys, I don't know, I feel bad. Can you guys put some money bags in the chat? When I see money bags, I get happy. When I know I got money coming, let me tell you something. If I feel bad, it's usually because my money is low. If I got money, if I can go shopping, baby, because don't nothing make me mad than being broke or being low. I do not like being low or being broke. I do not care. Okay? I like to know that I got it, because I'm not going to ask for anybody. I can't call CPS on myself. I got to get to the bag. Thank you, Layla. How are you doing today? What is this live notification? Man, if you don't get out my chat with that. I have hypertension too. I lost my baby sister last year to massive stroke last year, 40 years old, and it totally changed my perspective on health and life. I am so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Jennifer. Are you taking medication? I still take medication for now. Some days I be skipping because my blood pressure was like, even with medication, it was getting up to like 140 over 85 over 90. Now my blood pressure is like 105 over 65. At least that's what it was yesterday. This week, I have to go see my doctor, and when I do, I am going to see what my blood pressure is looking like, and then talk to them about possibly taking me off of it. Well, I think I want to go another 6 months with eating clean and really stay disciplined with that, because I don't want to go off the blood pressure medication and then my blood pressure start getting high, because one day my blood pressure was like 175 over 110. That's bad, you know. And I didn't know that my blood pressure was getting that high. But I think that was stress from work, because I never had high blood pressure before in my life. Then all of a sudden I went back to work and my blood pressure started creeping up. So so I had never had high blood pressure. As big as I was, I never had high blood pressure. So what I did was I started taking blood pressure medication last year, but every time I would drink water only. A lot of people think that high blood pressure comes from salt, and that does add to it, but high blood pressure also comes from sugar. If you eat a lot of sugar, then it spikes your blood pressure up as well. If you drink water after you eat, that's going to flush out a lot of sodium. But if you eat a lot of sugar, sugar sticks around in your fat cells, and that increases your blood pressure as well. So if you're a person that likes to drink sodas and juice all the time, if you switch from that to drinking water only, and I know you may say to yourself, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You can do anything that you set your mind to. If you care about your health and you want to be able to be here and be physically sound, meaning be able to use your body and all that different stuff, and not be confined to a bed, then you will eat like you're supposed to eat. You should take, Alma, you should take your blood pressure medication before if you start feeling like that. I didn't really have any symptoms. I was just feeling like my heart was racing a lot, and I just felt weird. And I guess I did feel a little funny, and I kept going to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, why haven't they addressed your blood pressure? Your blood pressure is high. You need to go take blood pressure medicine right now. Why hasn't anybody done anything about that? And so that's what made me start taking it. Yes, high blood pressure will hurt your kidneys as well. When you ate it, you know what, Alma? On 4th of July, I made some ribs, and my legs got so swollen. They were so tight. They were hurting. I stopped eating those ribs. And remind you, I was supposed to stop eating ribs and stuff like that after 4th of July anyway. On the 5th, I was supposed to start my weight loss journey. Well, it was now the 6th, and I was on probably my third plate of ribs. And my legs swelled up so bad. My ankles were so swollen. I said, oh, hell no. Man, when I tell you I stopped eating immediately and got me some water, I filled my Stanley up and I drank water all day. I was so swollen. The next day I had lost 12 pounds of water weight. That's how much salt I had on my legs, how much extra weight I was carrying around in water. That's how bad my blood pressure was. Now my ankles aren't swollen. My ankles aren't swollen. If my ankles get to swelling up, honey, I drink me some water. Mm-hmm. Then your heart starts fluttering too when your blood pressure is high. Absolutely, Tasha. You know what? I never did update my second month on this. But that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about. Pretty soon when I start doing memberships and stuff like that, we'll have girls chats and we'll talk about premenopause for us 40 and up girlies. We'll talk about eating healthy and different things like that. We'll talk about wealth building. I want to create like a wealth builders club and things like that. Like we can't just be over here laughing at Peach and we're not doing anything better in our lives. Um, at some point, I will be moving on from Peach. I'm going to tell you that right now. Um, I will be moving on. But I'll be talking about bigger and better things, and you'll still love it over here. If we talk about Peach though, if she doing something crazy like right now, we're going to talk about her. We're not going to shy away from that. We're going to laugh and we're going to key at the stuff that she does. We're not talking about her, the person. We're talking about the content that she puts out there. A lot of people will say, well, and the reason why I didn't want to talk about Peach on my page is just because I didn't want that vibe over here. But I would still participate in other lives and I still had an opinion about her. And um, sometimes I would want to talk about some of the stuff that she does. Um, I don't want to talk about her specifically, but what she's doing. Like if it's going viral or something like that. And that's not just about Peach. That's with anybody. That's with anything that's going on. If I want to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. Period. If you put it out here, then you're putting it out here for public scrutiny. If it's a news topic and we are interested in it, we're going to talk about it. If it's about money and how to get a bag, I'm definitely going to tell you guys about it. If it's about getting your health together, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it. I love me some bacon too. That was the last thing I gave up. I gave up pork chops. I love my bacon and I love my ribs. I love me some ribs. But I wasn't eating ribs that much. I would probably eat bacon a few times out the month. I love me a bacon and egg and cheese sandwich. I do. But I haven't had bacon either or ribs. Only chicken and fish. And I eat beef. They say don't eat so much beef. Only eat beef like once or twice a month. I eat beef. I'm making beef today. I'm making me some more beef rolls because I got me a couple of packs of beef at the store. My daughter said, "I'm tired of beef." She always tired of something, but as soon as I make it, she's gonna eat it. Absolutely, there are many options to build wealth. Other topics would be great. Absolutely, I'm glad you guys are on board with that. I still eat salt at first. The first time I tried to eat clean and stop eating salt for my blood pressure, I found it very hard to do. I did lose 15 pounds in a week, but it was very hard for me not to eat salt. It's easier for me not to eat the sweets than it is for me not to eat salt. I use a lot of blends I don't. I use salt to like when I'm gonna clean my greens, or I soak my chicken in salt to clean the chicken and to give it a little flavor. But I always wash it off. Um, but I don't put like white salt in my food, and I don't use Lawry seasoning salt anymore. I use a lot of blends, and I use a lot of seasonings that don't have as much sodium in them. So that's another reason why I'm probably not retaining water either, because I don't eat the same way that I used to, or cook the same way that I used to either. I don't fry anything. I use my air fryer a lot, and I bake everything. So um, that's how I'm eating right now. I used to buy Mrs. Dash, but now I buy McCormick seasoning blends, like the onion and herbs or the garlic and herbs. I've been using that a lot more, and I prefer those a little more than Mrs. Dash. That's what I've been buying for the last year or two. You use baking soda? You know what? I've never done that really with the baking soda. I want to try that out. And it's easy to build your wealth, especially if you start young, and especially if you just start putting aside money and start looking at diversifying your income and looking at other ways you can make money. It's probably a lot of things that you're doing today that can make you money, and you're not doing it. And just hearing that from somebody else and hearing about what other opportunities there are will help you to figure it out for yourself. Also, having a group of women as a collective coming together to talk about these things will motivate you and inspire you, because what iron sharpens iron, and great minds think alike. When people get together, they can make something big happen. So I think that that's a worthy thing for me to aspire to do over here. Um, do I got 100 likes? Did y'all get me to a? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Wait. Wait a minute. I'm not even showing my face. Did y'all get me? Money getters, y'all showing off like that again? Let me see. Let me look at my other phone. Sometimes I can't see on the phone that I'm on what's going on. Let me see. Child. Let me go back. Okay. Okay, I'm at 99 likes. I need one more like. I need one more like, and we'll wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for chilling with me on a Saturday morning. We've never chilled on a Saturday morning. Usually I like to sleep in, and my kids are like, Mama, we want to go to the stove. And yes, I said stove. Um, they can wait. I'm tired of them. I am tired of the barbs. Okay? I am so sick of the barbs always wanting me to do something. Like I'm their mama or something. You know what I mean? Like today, no, I'm just playing. Oh, today is homecoming day too. I got a child. Y'all, I got a child to get ready for homecoming. She'll probably get herself ready. She's so anti me these days, but I got to help her get ready and say, that's cute, daughter. She picked out her own dress, her own accessories. She bought everything on her own. She didn't even tell me she was doing these things. Things were just showing up at the door. That's my Bobby. That's my Bobby. She likes to be independent. But she hasn't even let me see the dress yet. I guess she didn't want me to give my opinion on it. Whatever. But she has homecoming today, so I'm sure she'll be getting ready for that soon. Last year she let me help her, and all of that, but I guess she said no. If she lets me in on it, then I'll start giving my opinion, and I feel like she didn't want that. She did let me see what dress she got, but she hasn't tried it on in front of me or whatever. So that's okay. I feel a way about that. I feel like I feel like I'm losing my grip on her. Parents, how do you feel when you start losing your grip on your children? Like when they start thinking for themselves? What do you do when that happens? I think that happens when kids turn 12 or 13, right? They start wanting to express themselves and pick out their own clothes. They start trying to speak out a little bit more, you know. Yes, I'm trying to hold on to them right now, Deborah, and hold on to the memories and appreciate them because they are getting older and they are independent thinkers, which is what I want my children to be. I want them to take what I teach them and the examples I set for them, and I want them to be even better than me. I don't want them to do, if I want them to look at me and see where I mess up and be like, oh, I'm not doing that. And I want them to look at the things I do right and say to themselves, you know what? My mom was right about that. And go even further in life with what I teach them. Because you teach your kids by example. You don't just teach them from showing them how to do everything right. You teach them also when you get it wrong, right? When we mess up, our kids learn from that too. And I think as a parent, I was so afraid for my kids to see me mess up. I was afraid to let them see that I had anxiety because I didn't want them to think that it was okay to be anxious. But my kids are not anxious. They're not scaredy cats at all. And they be like, Mom, you know, these kids nowadays, they see a lot more because of social media and they learn a lot of more information. They know what overstimulated means. If I tell them, look, I'm overstimulated. I've talked all day. I need some quiet time. They get it. And they'll tell me, look, Mom, I need to be quiet. I just want to chill by myself right now. We get that about each other. And I'm so happy that we can do that and say, you know what? Okay, I need some quiet time right now. They tell me a lot of different things that let me see that I'm raising good children. And not perfect children, but good children. And I don't have to worry about them. Exactly, Jennifer. Exactly. That's so hard as a mom to allow your children to spread their wings and to let them, but they have to. They have to. They're individuals outside of us. We only have, in my opinion, we only have about from birth to 8 years old to get our kids where we want them to be, to give them the manners that we want them to learn. We have but a small window because around 10 to 12, that's when they start formulating their own thinking. You know, that's when they start realizing there's no Santa Claus. That's when they start realizing, wait a minute, my mom and dad, they're not perfect. They start seeing our flaws and they can start reading through our BS, right? And definitely from the time from 13 to 16, they're going to start wanting to rebel and all of that stuff. And by 18, they're going to think they have it all figured out. But of course, they don't. And we'll have to, you know, help them through those years, right? Because we never stop being parents and we never stop learning. So it's just all about understanding that. And why are they slamming that door? Oh, they must want to hear my mouth. I had to force my children to make their own choices in clothing. I was one of those mothers who just shopped all the time. Oh no, Deborah. When I start seeing clothes with tags still on them, I stopped. Honey, they was not, once they got like, I want to say, the baby was probably like 10. And then, because I used to shop for them all the time, just bring them home, clothes, and they would wear them, honey. I want to say in 2021, 2022, they was like, oh, heck no. You are not shopping for me. And when I think about it, like, I started shopping for myself around 13, 14. My mom would just give me the money. She wasn't buying my clothes for me. Like, could you imagine? Like, when you were 13, 14 in middle school and your mom brought your clothes home, or even high school, my kids are not going for it. I have all girls. They're not going for it. You know what, Kim? I would agree that Peach posted the videos out of order, except that day that she got into it with the school. She went live that morning and she got into it with a man at a restaurant. And she had on the same clothes and her hair the same way. So I believe that was the same day. I believe that she had already taken Mcintyre out. I initially thought that she had taken McKay out of school, but McKay is also going to homecoming today. So is McKay still going to go to homecoming in light of all this stuff? Because we didn't even get to that. Today, McKay should be going to homecoming. McKay is a senior. He also goes to Lakewood Ranch Prep, but he goes to their upper campus for the older kids, right? So is he still going to be able to go attend his homecoming with all this different stuff going on? And see, that's where Peach doesn't think like a mother. She doesn't think like a mature adult. Because here it is, McKay is enjoying himself, his last year of school. This is his senior year of school. He's already painted his parking spot. He's already taken his senior pictures. And she didn't think to herself, could I handle this differently? Could I approach this differently? Because not only do I have my little kids to consider and how this incident may have affected them, but I also have my older son, McKay, who also attends this school. He's already made friends there and all of that. So yeah, but this definitely happened this week, and that's just because the day she went live, she had on the same clothes and her hair the same way. But it wasn't McKay that got pulled out of school. It was actually Mcintyre, and he's been out of school for at least a week or two. hmm You guys got grandbabies? I have two grandchildren. I post Dream on here sometimes. She's my 2 year old granddaughter. Oh my gosh, that little girl is she's so pretty. And what's so pretty about her is just how sweet she is. Oh my God. And she loves her grandmother, honey. She loves her some meat. If she comes to my house, honey, she hits that front door and she comes right to my room looking for me. Hey Norris, I think we all know that there's some more people upstairs. There's some more girls in that house. There's some more girls in that house. Peach got a few extra girls up in that house. There's some more people up in there. Hey, Miss Lex. Yeah, it's very typical. And what's a typical black kid? That's what I want to know. Because my girls are far from typical. Put a money bag in the chat if your kids are far from typical. If you have run of the mill kids, if you have typical kids, don't put a money bag. But put a money bag in the chat if your kids is not one of them. Okay? Because my kids ain't not the eighth world wonders, not the barbs. Stop playing. I know that's right, Kim. Put those money bags in the chat, honey. Our kids aren't typical either. What's she trying to say? What's a typical black kid? That's what I want to know. What's a typical black kid? What's typical? Can somebody please explain that to me? What's a typical black child? Oh, you have an 8-month-old Deborah? I bet she's the cutest. I'm going to do too much always when it comes to my grandkids. I'm going to do too much when it comes to my kids. Absolutely. Yeah, Williams, thanks for that 100. Thanks for the 100 likes, guys. Hey, get money. What you say, huh? Get money. What you say, huh? Get money. Um, that's me. That's me singing on that track, by the way. But we are at 100. We are on hour 3. You guys want to chill for hour 4? Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Oh, yes, both. That's right, Bree Mom. Thanks for tuning in. That's right. You're right. She did say, I remember Peach said that both principals, why did both principals need to be there? What's really going on? Mm. Oh, you have 13-year-old twins. How cool. Are they boys or girls? I don't think it really matters, does it, Jennifer? I think that as parents, we want to kind of like hover over our children, but you know, the hallmark of good parenting is teaching your children and them being able to take what you taught them and go off into the world and be independent. If you do it right, even if you do it wrong a little bit, right? If you raise your children with love and you allow them to express themselves. I talked about this the other night, allowing our children to express themselves and to be able to be free to say the things that's on their mind. Even if your child comes into the room and they're hollering, they're screaming, some parents will say, "Don't talk to me like that." You watch your tone. Sometimes your kid has something at the bottom of their belly that they just need to let out, and only you as their mother can hug them tight and hold them and get them to and excuse me and understand them, right? They've been dealing, you don't know what frustrations your child is dealing with. Here you are thinking, well, everything is okay at home, and at school something is going on. Or you might be thinking that your kid is okay with you, but you're getting on your kid's last nerves. They hate you. And you feel like, hell, I'm doing everything right as a parent, but in their little immature, underdeveloped mind, you're not. And there's a way that you can spot those little inconsistencies in your children, and you can see, wait a minute, something's festering there. I see that my kid needs me a little bit more. I need to address this, right? And like I said, if we can see what's going on between the ages, if we can put the things that we need to put in our kids when they're young, they'll develop much better. Um, you won't see all of that angst in them. You won't see an anxious child if they grow up feeling loved and feeling supported and feel like they can freely express themselves. You won't see a child who has that opportunity. You won't see them feeling like they're depressed or feeling like nobody loves them or feeling like they want to hurt themselves or go out into the world and hurt others. We got to pay attention. Parenting is hard work. That's why I say, and I know some of you watching may even have 9 children. The reason why I say I have 5 kids. Having more, when you have more children, that you're going to have children that are going to lose out in some way. And that's not always the case, because I see kids grow up in big families and every last one are doctors and nurses. And I bet those parents are tired. Right? I've seen 5 siblings. That's the most I've seen. I haven't seen 9 or 10. But I've seen 5 siblings all become, professionals in the medical field. I've seen it. Uh, all 5 siblings become attorneys. That takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of work, right? It takes everything in you to raise even one child. And so typically, I'm going to use that word, typically, if you have a larger family, then you're going to lose some because you can't reach all of those children and you can't give every last child what they need because children require so much. You know what I mean? Now, if you have a husband to help and if you have a big family network to help, that's a good start. But again, it takes so much work, and nobody's really going to give your kid what they need other than you, right? I didn't look at the twins' foot, and Tasha, honestly, I'm gonna stay away from that. I am. I didn't see his foot. I don't know if that was just a picture or what, but I hope the little guy's okay. I really do. Even though Peach, I know why you guys feel the way you do. I'm not gonna try to steer away from that. Peach has said a lot of things about a lot of people and has really put a lot of, you know, uh, a bad taste in our mouths, right? She does and says a lot of things that just pisses us off to the point where, like, when somebody says things like that, or my children are privileged, they're not typical black children. When you say things like that, you piss a lot of people off. You piss off the people whose children do receive free lunch. You piss off the parents who are having a hard time feeding the children. You piss a lot of people off when you say things like that. And so it gets to the point where they actually want to see you do bad. They want to see you get your comeuppance. They want to see you be humbled because of the rhetoric that you are spewing out to the public. People don't like that. Oh, Deborah, God bless you. Raising someone else's child, it takes a lot of love. I have 5 kids of my own, and ooh, like it's different for me as when my kids do things because I love them and I love all children. But the children that come from you is, it's easier to overlook some things than say if it's a child that didn't come from you, right? It'll be a lot harder for you to accept when they have when they're displaying that they have, negative behavior or anything like that. So it's harder for me to it would be harder for me to raise somebody else's child, you know, even if they were a good child. Because, heck, my own children, I tell, go sit down somewhere. But I feel like when it's somebody else's child, you don't want to do stuff like that. You want to make sure you're there for them. And I commend anybody that is taking on the added responsibility of caring for children that are not yours. Children are a blessing from God. And if you're taking care of your own children, because some mothers don't even take care of their own children, they could care less about their kids. Some 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 mothers do not like their kids. They do not love them. They don't want them around. They will dump them off on grandma. They will leave them at home by themselves. They do not care if they eat. They do not care how they go to school looking. They do not care if it's their birthday. They want a man and they want to please a man. Some mothers do not care about their kids. So if you're a mother and you're having a hard time raising your kids, but if you're doing it and you're doing it to the best of your ability and you're putting your kids first, give yourself a hand because not every mother is doing that. Some mothers, they make sure their kids have food to eat. They make sure that their kids have a nice place to stay in, but that's it. They're not paying them attention. Um, you know what I mean? Some women, they make sure their kids look good for social media, but then right after that they're cussing at them and hollering at them and calling them names. If you're not doing none of those things, don't worry about the small stuff. Don't worry about, oh, I didn't take my kid to Disneyland this summer, or I didn't take my kid on a vacation this summer. Some parents are doing that, but they don't care about their kids. They just care about how things look. Right, Kim. Right, Kim. You have to be happy with your own life and how, um, for me, I just started being grateful that I have what matters, right? And having what matters is having your health, having your needs met as far as having a home, having a car to, for transportation, having health care, having car insurance, having food in the refrigerator, right? If you have those things, you have what matter. If you have children and they're healthy and they're not sick, um, you don't have to worry about them. They're doing well in school. That's that is having what matters, right? Being able to take your kid, for me, being able to take my kids to school and pick them up from school is what matters to me. Me being able to walk through Walmart without being short of breath like I was earlier this summer, that's what matters to me. And I could act like this and get on here and perform and do this and do that, but then I could, log off and be miserable, right? I'm grateful. Like September, oh my gosh. I didn't start September off this way. Yo would tell you when she started Streamers University, I felt like so down. And she was like, we had a discussion. And I was just like, I just didn't. But I was like, okay, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it because that's why I joined Streamers University. And I did what needed to be done, And, you know, set your goals and set your own pace for yourself. Don't look left or right. Don't look up or down. Look in your mirror and see what stands before you. If you're happy with what you see, cool. If you're not, change it. Because being mad at somebody else or wishing you had what somebody else had is not going to change it, right? Thank you, Jennifer. We're gonna keep each other positive and motivated over here. That's what it's all about. Um, for real, that's what it's all about. We're gonna have our fun though. Don't mistake it. We're gonna have our fun. We're gonna have our fun. Oh, Jennifer. Oh, you guys are showing love in the chat. I love that. Deborah, my mom is like that. Her house was always ground zero and a safe haven. Anybody could come there. I didn't like that though. I'm gonna tell you like that. I didn't like that. I still don't. Absolutely, Deborah. Because if they're not talking to us and they're holding it in, then that could be trouble for them. Right, Kim? Going to Disney. If you're going to Disney, like I've seen parents do things like that. Their kids got only wear Jordans, right? But the kids can't even spell Jordan. And half the time these kids don't even want Jordan, right? So, yes, we got to absolutely make sure that we're sitting down reading to our babies and things like that. I see people, they want to be on social media with the gender reveals, like the whole pregnancy, right? They're they're having a gender reveal and they're so happy and they like all the attention that they get from having a baby. But as soon as that baby is born, they're dumping the baby off on whoever would watch them, right? It looks cute to take those maternity shoots and all of that. But when that baby comes, you actually got to raise it. Oh, you adopted them from birth from my baby sister that passed. Oh no, I had a partial hysterectomy at 22, so she blessed my life. Oh, that's absolutely. Sometimes I think too, like a lot of women, Jennifer, and anybody who has had to go through fertility issues, God bless you. But I do believe that sometimes some women were meant to raise other people's children. I feel like that's how God blessed them, right? And I know as women we want to be able to birth our own children, but sometimes God wants to use us as a vessel for someone else. And how great is it that your sister's children have you? How great is that? Because there's a lot of children, their parents pass away and they have nobody. And that is a blessing that you were able to be that vessel for your sister's kids. Social media has really, really ruined our society in a lot of ways. It's also helped to advance us in some ways, but it's also ruined us because absolutely, when I was 12 and 13, I would have been outside playing. And it's actually, I think messing with our mental health a lot because we were meant to be outside and playing and running around. Um, Even adults, right? Sitting at work all day. And that's why they're making like the walking pads and the stand up desk because sitting down all day does something to your mental health as well and your physical health. Yep, my house, my rules for the grandkids. I don't even holler at Dreamy, and I used to holler at my kids, girl, but I do not holler at Dreamy at all. Like when she comes over here, she doesn't get yelled at, she doesn't get cursed at, none of that. Um, I try to make my house be like serene and peaceful for her. I let her run around and tear up and do whatever she wants to do. She done tore up all my plants. You know, you know what, Deborah? To be well traveled is the absolute greatest thing I think that you can give a child, because they get to learn about other cultures, and they get to see the world, and they know what's possible, and they know what's available to them. I think that's one of the greatest things that you can give your child is um, exposure to traveling at a young age. And then that's something that they will continue to do, right? Because there's lots of ground to cover, right? You can go to all the continents and you still don't touch everything, right? Because there's so much to see, so much to explore in this world. Sorry, guys. Put a one in the chat if you could hear me. My phone's trying to update. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Put a one in the chat. Definitely outside in the my mom used to say, Charity, Charity, and my friends used to tease me, there go your mama, Charity, because my mom would be screaming my name to come in the house, because I would be outside with my friends, and I always had to come in right when the porch lights come on. And so all my friends would tease me, your mama, you better go home, your mom gonna be calling you, you better go home, you know your mom's gonna be calling you. I'll never forget that. Charity, she would scream my name to come in, and I would have to go in the house, and everybody would be still outside, because the we used to stand under this lamppost, and we'd all be standing there talking. I wasn't doing nothing. I don't know why she wouldn't let me have my fun. You know what? A lot of people say that, Kim, that the neighbors could discipline them. And I think that's cool, like as far as if you know, watching out for other people's children, because you don't want to do that nowadays. If you say, hey, why are you out here cussing? Or why are you out here doing so and so? Put that person's, get out of their flower bed. Somebody's parent to come knock on your door. You don't tell my kid what to do. You know, and you could be the parent that's looking out for them. But I'm this type of parent. I'm going to go tell the parent, I told your child, listen, your child was over here doing this and I don't want him to get hurt. If you have a problem with it, okay, that's fine. But I wasn't about to let your child be out here doing this. I remember I called one of my daughter's friends came to my house smelling like weed. And they said, well, my mom lets me smoke weed. So I called the mom anyway. And I'm like, well, you got to come pick your daughter up. Nobody's allowed to smoke weed in my house. And I told her because she smoked weed, she has to go home. She's going to say, well, I let her smoke weed. I was like, well, that's fine by me if that's what you let her do. But you can come on and get your child. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I was about to do. Like, kids can't smoke cigarettes and drink and smoke weed in my house. That's not happening. And nobody else's kid is coming to my house doing that. Girl, I was fast anyway. That's what she get. She should have let me stay outside and play. I was fast anyway. Hey, Enoch, we talking about everything. The girls are over here just talking. You can join us. Everybody don't bully Enoch. He's one of my friends. Enoch, what's going on today? What's the word? My mom sounds like your mother, and I'm older than you are. The street lights was when we had to go into the house. I think everybody had to go in the house, you know, when the street lights came on. And I know it was probably really my stepfather at the time, because my mom was the cool mom, right? Like, all my friends loved to come to my house because my mom was going to tell us about back in the day. She was going to have her stereo going. My mom might even have a beer, and she'd be having us all laughing. My stepdad too, but my stepdad didn't play all that different stuff, right? You couldn't, kids had to stay in the kids' place. Like, I couldn't be outside like that. He'd be like, no, you couldn't do this and do that. You had to be a kid and stay in the child's place. My parents are both from the old school. All right. I know that's absolutely right, Enoch. God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. And my world can never make me doubt him. Because I know too much about him. Absolutely. Absolutely. God is absolutely good to all of us. We are all here. We made it to the wake up list today. So we have, well, we could complain, but it's better to stay grateful. Yes, I'm from Cali, from Southern Cali. I was born and raised in South Central LA. Then by the time I was in middle school, I moved on. But I'm still an LA girl. I am still an LA girl through and through. So I can be ghetto. I can also be professional. I can also speak in a professional and college girl voice, but I am LA through and through. I'm a ghetto baby. Running down the street with no shoes on and all of that, okay? Yeah. LA has changed so much now from what I grew up in, but that's that's where I'm from, LA. All right, guys, you know what? I gotta go sit by my children because I know they probably like, Mom, like, we are supposed to go to the store hours ago. You're from Texas? Enoch, I'm supposed to be coming to Texas. But I don't know because they're talking about you guys have a cereal unaliver down there. What's going on with that? And y'all stay packing in Texas, so no one should feel comfortable enough to go around dumping bodies in the lake or in the bayou. Y'all have a bayou? I thought bayous were in Louisiana. Texas has a bayou. And I hear you guys have alligators over there in Texas too. How do I stay clear of the alligators? Because I'm coming to Houston. How do I stay clear of the alligators? That's number one. And number two, when you guys gonna get that situated? Like get that together before I come. I'm going to Houston, guys. If you guys are from Texas, what's fun to do in Houston? It's off the chain right now. Don't go. That's all I needed to hear, Deborah. What's going on out there in Houston? Y'all tell me before I go, because I'm supposed to buy my tickets this week. Stay out of the water. Good advice, Enoch. I got your emails too, Enoch. I just been busy. I haven't really had an opportunity to sit down and respond to my all my emails, but I did get your emails. Thanks for sending those emails to me. And you haven't been in my chat in a while, Enoch. You've been laying low. You probably been in my bushes or something, but you haven't been in my chat in a while. Oh yes, they've been talking about a serial unaliver in Houston. They said they have found about eight bodies in the bayou. They said they recently found another one, I think yesterday. So, but they found like five or six in the last week. And then they said they found another one, I think yesterday. Houston is fun. I've never been. It's unbelievable, but I've never been. Have a blessed day too, Jennifer. Yeah, so that's what's going on. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for getting me to 102 likes. I'm gonna get my videos out eventually. Um, but I wanted to. I didn't get to go live with you guys yesterday, so I wanted to chat with you guys this morning and say what's up. I hope you guys all have a blessed day and even more blessed weekend. Enjoy yourselves today. Try to take a break. If you've been working all week, sleep in, chill out, okay? If you have something fun to do today, even better. Be safe. Thanks, Tasha. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks. Good. I'm glad that you stopped by, Enoch. Thank you, Cancer 66, Deborah, Everybody who's still in the chat with me. Who's still in the chat with me? Kim. Um, you guys held me down the whole 3 hours. Thank you guys. As you can see, I've been talking a lot, so I'm starting to lose my voice. Guys, have a blessed one. I'll see you in the movies. Have a good day. Thank you, Deborah. It was an excellent conversation. We got down to the nitty gritty. Goodbye for now, guys.